Chapter 47:13. Mike's shattering awl was indeed very powerful. It had a 100% destructive effect on one's physical body. However, he realized that he couldn't do anything to the invader in front of him. The other party dealt with him easily, but he was the one who was consuming more and more energy. After all, it wasn't easy to use his shattering awl. Every time he used it, it would consume a lot of energy. In other words, if he couldn't kill the other party in a short time, it would be a huge burden for Mike. After using it 7 times, Mike couldn't hit the other party at all. The scariest thing was that the other party looked very relaxed. Mike couldn't believe it. How could the other party have such a strong accumulation? When did the invader become so strong? He had never seen an invader that was so strong. At this moment, Lin Fei made his move and used spiritual projection. This was a good move, especially at such a close distance, unless it was a special situation. Lin Fei wouldn't use the great teleportation technique. It was best to keep such a technique to protect his life. If the other party knew about it in advance, they would be on guard. Even if it was just a spiritual projection, not everyone could withstand it. Lin Fei came to Mike's side. With him as the center, a great slicing technique attack was set off. In an instant, Mike fell into a frenzy of attacks. Lin Fei stretched out his palm and slapped Mike's body. A layer of Jingguang erupted from Mike's body, and then his entire body became illusory. Just like that, Mike disappeared. What a pity I couldn't kill him. This guy's life-saving treasure is pretty good. Such a simple attack let Lin Fei know that Mike wasn't simple. Especially this life-saving treasure, it was really domineering. He instantly took Mike and left. It was like a long-distance teleportation technique. Of course, there was an additional layer of defense. Demon god Anlin stood not far away. He thought that the invader wouldn't be Mike's match. Now, it seemed that he had been thinking too much. Mike had actually been able to get close to his opponent and was beaten away in an instant. Even Mike's most important treasure had been unleashed. I'm very sorry, this Mike's strength seems to be a little weak. He was beaten away by me in close combat. Lin Fei turned around and smiled at Fiend Celestial Anlin. If you have any thoughts about me, you can also make a move. I can still persist. After all, my accumulation is not bad. Demon god Anlin burst into laughter. At this moment, he was no longer as serious as before. You're the first invader to make demon god Mike suffer. You've even used his most precious teleportation talisman. In Lin Fei's opinion, Mike's life-saving treasure was similar to a teleportation talisman. Of course, it was far inferior to his great teleportation talisman. It was just that Lin Fei was too lazy to chase after it. If he really did chase after it, he would still be able to sense its existence. For example, the other party had used something similar to a teleportation talisman twice in a row and escaped in the blink of an eye. It's a pity that no one killed him. Don't you think it's a pity? I see that this guy has been chasing after you for a long time. It's just the right time to get rid of this eyesore. Don't you think you should thank me properly when the time comes? In any case, I've done a good deed for you. Who asked me to be a good person? I can't bear to see this kind of thing happen. Demon god Anlin laughed again. He felt that this invader was rather interesting. There's really no one else who can say things like this. May I know your name? Lin Fei laughed softly. It seems that my performance is not bad. You even asked for my name. It's a pity that I can't fight with you. I'm a person who doesn't change my surname. My surname is Lin Fei. Lin Fei is my name, although it's quite ordinary. Demon god Anlin had naturally never heard of Lin Fei, but now he knew. I wonder if you're interested in coming to my place. I think we should have a good chat. Lin Fei was also quite surprised. This demon god Anlin was completely different from other demon gods. If it were other demon gods, they would chase him to the ends of the world. Why would they say something like this? It just so happens that I'm also tired. I can indeed sit down and rest. The two of them left the small world one after the other. At the same time, in a small world, Mike spat out blood. This despicable and shameless intruder actually has such a secret method. He can actually break through my defense and appear beside me in an instant. I've really suffered a big loss this time. I even had to use my most precious teleportation talisman. To be honest, Mike really didn't dare to believe that he couldn't beat an invader. Even that demon god Anlin didn't treat him with any respect. This made his hatred grow stronger and stronger, especially now that he was injured. His killing intent also grew. All that was left in his mind was this young man's figure. This invader is quite strong. I probably can't do anything to him alone. I have to find help. Mike knew quite a number of people. No matter what, he had to take care of this invader. Mike was also very concerned about the other party's close combat secret technique. This guy might even have many good things on him. He couldn't miss out on such a big fat sheep. He would treat it as making up for his losses. And Demon God Anlin, I'll let you know what regret is sooner or later. Lin Fei and Demon God Anlin returned to the palace. Demon God Anlin personally brewed a pot of tea. At this time, Lin Fei could also feel a wave of hatred transforming into aggro. There was no need to guess. It should be that Mike's. For a demon god like him, the angrier he was the better. The hatred he generated was indeed not something a demon lord could compare to. I see that you're in a good mood. An invader like you is really rare in our great world. Demon god Anlin sat down and poured a pot of tea for Lin Fei. A faint fragrance filled the air. Anyway, I'm not afraid of being bitten when there are so many lice. That demon god, Mike, won't dare to come alone. If he really dares to come, I have plenty of ways to take care of him. From the beginning to the end, Lin Fei didn't go all out. So if demon god Mike dared to come again, killing him would be as easy as flipping his hand. A magician's physical body was a huge flaw. If he didn't have those puppet warriors protecting him, demon god Mike's strength would be even lower. Bookseller's website. Chapter 4714. Anlin did have an impression of the invader in front of him. He was bold and powerful. Up to this point, he had yet to determine the level of strength Lin Fei's invader had. If he was not mistaken, he was at the peak Empyrean Lord level. In the words of their great world, they were called Ultimate Fiend Lords. Of course, although Lin Fei's strength was at the peak Empyrean Lord level, his means were something that even a Fiend Celestial would be helpless against, especially the mystic techniques that he used in close combat. They were extremely lethal to magicians like them. At the very least, Anlin had yet to come up with a good solution to deal with it. It was too sudden and impossible to guard against. You seem to have something on your mind. You can tell me. After all, you are the only Fiend Celestial that has not attacked me since I came to this great world. Lin Fei could obviously tell that Fiend Celestial Anlin definitely had his reasons. If he was not mistaken, it was likely something troublesome. The strength he had displayed was still very strong, especially that close-range attack that had come without warning had really caught Mike off guard. That's right. I do have something on my mind. I wish to seek your help, Lin Fei, and I will give you a price. I guarantee that it will be a price that will tempt you. Anlin took a deep breath. Lin Fei laughed as well. Actually, I'm rather surprised that someone would cooperate with an invader like me. Aren't you afraid of being ostracized by the other Fiend Celestials? Lin Fei wasn't too sure about the rules of this alternate world, but he knew that the Fiend Celestials here would definitely not interact with invaders. Invaders were no different from street rats in this alternate world. Anlin chuckled and sipped a mouthful of tea to moisten his throat. Then you are sorely mistaken. Not all invaders become rats that everyone wants to beat when they come to this alternate world. In fact, some invaders will choose to cooperate with us, and we Fiend Celestials will act according to the person we are dealing with. That explained everything. Why didn't Anlin do anything to him? Clearly, He acted according to the person he was dealing with. That demon god, Mike, was different. He probably treated all the invaders as targets to be killed. This could be seen from the fact that he was able to kill 50 invaders. If you want me to cooperate with you, it won't be difficult. You have to give me something that can move my heart. However, I won't be interested in ordinary things. Lin Fei did not plan to return to this world in a short period of time. He might as well take a stroll around the other world. He also knew how long the land of demon hunters would last. It was almost 10 years, so Lin Fei had plenty of time. The current Fiend Celestial was one thing, but Anlin was different. At the very least, Lin Fei found him rather pleasing to the eye. No, it should be said that he was more pleasing to the eye. There were probably not many demon gods like him. Just look at Demon God Mike. If I tell you that you can help me complete my task, I'll give you my entire body. Do you think that's enough to move you? Fiend Celestial Anlin said this very calmly, as though he was speaking of an extremely ordinary matter. This left Lin Fei a little shocked. To think that such words would come out of Fiend Celestial Anlin's mouth. Could it be that she knew what he was thinking? To be honest, Lin Fei still had some thoughts about Anlin. After all, a fair lady was a good match for a gentleman. Furthermore, she was from another world. To be honest, what you said is quite shocking. For a moment, I even suspected that you were deliberately saying that, but on second thought, I don't think that's possible. I really wouldn't be interested in anything else, but I'm quite interested in what you offer. Lin Fei was also telling the truth. Since the other party had said so, he wouldn't be hesitant. Most people would find it difficult to resist the benefits you offer. However, I'm more curious. Why don't you seek out that demon god Mike? I think he would be very willing. Anlin's eyes revealed a look of disdain and even mockery. Forget about that fellow. Although his combat strength is rather strong, he's still not your match, right? Since he's not your match, why would I seek him out? If I want to find someone, I have to find the most cost-effective one. With that said, Lin Fei found it difficult to refute. Then tell me what's going on. It's very simple. I want you to help me kill someone. This person is very strong. I'm now a 2-star Fiend Celestial, and the person I want to kill is a 4-star Fiend Celestial. Although it was only a difference of 2 stars, Lin Fei knew that it was an insurmountable gap. It was no wonder Anlin sought him out for cooperation. It's no wonder you sought me out for cooperation. I never expected you to want to kill a 4-star Sky Celestial, no, a 4-star Fiend Celestial. Although it's only a difference of 2 minor realms, it's enough to crush you. Lin Fei had a hunch that Anlin's realm was not high, but he never expected it to be true. He was only a 2-star Fiend Celestial. What about Fiend Celestial Mike? Don't tell me he's a 3-star Fiend Celestial? Anlin shook his head. Mike is a 2-star Fiend Celestial like me, but he's a peak 2-star Fiend Celestial. I'm only a mid-stage 2-star Fiend Celestial. They were both 2-star Fiend Celestials, but the difference was rather obvious. Lin Fei knew the difference after exchanging blows. If Anlin wanted to deal with a 4-star Sky Celestial, it was basically a one-way trip. Furthermore, Anlin was a female Fiend Celestial. Naturally, it would not end well for him. If it were anyone else who made such a request, I would definitely reject it. After all, I'm not a Fiend Celestial. However, since it's you, Anlin, it's different. I can risk my life and join forces with you to deal with that 4-star Sky Celestial. Lin Fei's strength was definitely inferior to a 4-star Sky Celestial, but after the battle with Mike, he felt that he could hold his own against a 3-star Fiend Celestial. As for a 4-star Fiend Celestial, he would have to consider it carefully. In fact, Anlin had only mentioned the root of the problem. He did not think that the intruder, Lin Fei, would agree. One had to know that a 4-star Sky Celestial was not easy to deal with. Even 3 to 5 Sky Celestial love gods could not defeat a 4-star Sky Celestial. You are really willing to help me? Furthermore, you are willing to kill this 4-star Fiend Celestial. Anlin's breathing had clearly changed significantly. Lin Fei nodded. If this 4-star Fiend Celestial isn't considered very strong, there's still a 70 to 80% chance of killing him. As you know, I'm an intruder. I have more means than you imagine. A 70 to 80% chance of success was much higher than what Anlin had imagined. From her point of view, a 30 to 50% chance of success was not bad. A 70 to 80% chance was a sure death situation. Book Dweller's website. Chapter 4715. Since Lin Fei had agreed to help Demon God Anlin, he definitely wanted to see how it felt to kill a demon god. 4-star demon gods weren't strong, but they weren't weak either. If he hadn't activated the leisurely leveling system, Lin Fei would have to think twice before killing a 4-star demon god. But before that, Lin Fei also wanted to know if he could gain hatred in this alternate world. He believed that demon god Anlin should be very clear about this. It's okay to help you kill a 4-star demon god, but I have to prepare in advance. I don't think you're in too much of a hurry. Demon god Anlin shook his head. I'm not in a hurry. I'm really not in a hurry. I've endured for thousands of years, not to mention this short period of time. I don't know what you need to prepare, but I can still help you during this period. Lin Fei could easily sense the boundless hatred in demon god Anlin's words. Clearly, this 4-star demon god had done the most heinous thing in the world. He was hated by someone until now. This was the scariest thing. As the saying goes, if one doesn't remove the roots, the spring breeze will come again next year. This was exactly what it meant. I want to know if there's a similar method to absorb hatred in your great world. You can also treat it as a kind of evil method. Lin Fei was more direct. Even if he said it, demon god Anlin wouldn't be able to guess that he was using this method to increase his strength. Demon god Anlin frowned slightly. He was quite surprised. He didn't sense any evil aura from demon god Anlin. But why was he interested in this method? If there isn't, it's fine. I'm just asking anyway. Demon god Anlin shook his head. If it's something else, I might not be able to help you. But I do know a little about this. It's a little similar to the cultivation of dark magicians. I heard that they all collect some hatred, which is the so-called resentment bead for cultivation. If you want, you can go and see if it's this resentment bead. Lin Fei was just asking casually. After all, this was an alternate world. It was hard to say if something like this really happened. Of course, this also depended on luck. If he was lucky, he could encounter it. If he was unlucky, he could only watch helplessly. But he never expected that Fiend Celestial Anlin would actually tell him about this. As soon as he heard the words grudge prayer bead, Lin Fei felt that it should be similar to his own hatred. As for whether it was useful or not, that was another matter. Apart from that, we also have faith orbs. A grudge bead was enough to make Lin Fei very happy. Lin Fei's expression changed a lot when he saw the faith bead. Lin Fei felt that he had come to the right place. Perhaps these grudge beads and faith beads would allow him to gain a lot of honor and hatred. If this was really the case, then this trip was really not in vain. He had found a way. Then I'll have to trouble demon god Anlin to take me to see the resentment beads and faith beads. They might really be of help to me. Demon god Anlin did not hesitate at all. Just like that, he left the world with Lin Fei. There were quite a few worlds along the way. Relying on the great sky shrouding technique, Lin Fei managed to fool himself. The heavenly, I could not find him anymore. This also surprised demon god Anlin. This method was not something that any invader could master. Otherwise, there would not be so many invaders coming here and being hunted down by the demon gods on their side. It was as tragic as it could be. If we want to find the resentment prayer beads and faith beads, we have to go to the territory of the dark magicians. Along the way, Lin Fei also understood the background of these dark magicians. They were all people who cultivated evil magic. In the great world, they were considered rather unpopular people. However, At least they were not treated as street rats and hunted down by everyone like invaders. In front of us is the largest gathering place for dark magicians. It's called Dark Heaven. You can only try your luck here if you want the things you want. Demon god Anlin took out a magic treasure. It's definitely impossible for you to enter Dark Heaven like this. This is a treasure I obtained from a treasure land in the past. It's called a soul pearl. It can change a person's soul aura. After entering Dark Heaven, naturally, no one will be able to recognize you as an invader from the outside. When he first heard about this soul pearl, Lin Fei thought that it was a soul pearl from the outside world. Later on, he thought that was not right at all. After all, this was an alternate world. As expected, after obtaining this soul pearl, Lin Fei felt different. Now, in order to see the resentment prayer beads and faith beads, Lin Fei naturally did not plan to do anything. It was better to keep a low profile. Thank you. When we come out, I'll return this soul pearl to you. This thing is useless to me. It's very weak, but it's still quite useful to you invaders. It's just that it consumes a lot of energy. You have to be mentally prepared. Lin Fei had already cultivated the infinite god body and reached the 8th level, so there was naturally nothing to worry about. After activating the soul pearl, he instantly felt that his entire body had become different. He actually imitated the aura of a native. However, the consumption was indeed quite large. The soul pearl was like a bottomless pit. Ordinary people really couldn't handle it. It was no wonder that it was said to be useless. Demon god Anlin was quite worried that Lin Fei wouldn't be able to control the soul pearl. The consumption was too great. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to hold on for a while. However, on the way here, he knew that he was thinking too much. Lin Fei was indeed quite powerful. He could even control the soul pearl. This is Dark Heaven. A huge black whirlpool appeared in front of him. There were figures constantly appearing in this whirlpool. This made Lin Fei quite surprised. There was actually a world hidden in the black whirlpool, and this whirlpool was more like a treasure. The thing outside is called Dark Samsara. It's usually useless, but once a demon god comes to attack, Dark Samsara will become an extremely terrifying treasure. Not everyone can withstand the power of Samsara. I heard that Dark Samsara can also summon powerful dark creatures. The most powerful one was an 8-star demon god. This also made Lin Fei secretly shocked. It seemed that he had really underestimated Dark Heaven. Such a powerful treasure was placed at the door. It was really rich and overbearing. That's why I brought you here. Apart from here, it's very difficult to find resentment prayer beads and faith beads anywhere else. Lin Fei was quite grateful to demon god Anlin. Thank you. Bookhouse website. Chapter 4716. Dark Heaven's world was a little different from what Lin Fei had imagined. The entire Dark Heaven was filled with all sorts of darkness elements. This was a very uncomfortable feeling. For people like Lin Fei, who didn't cultivate magic, the darkness elements that floated in the air were very thick. The strength of the dark magicians here would become exceptionally strong. They could absorb the darkness elements here. During this period, Lin Fei saw people constantly entering and exiting. Most of the people going in and out were dressed in black cloaks, making it impossible to see their faces. As Anlin explained, Lin Fei finally understood what was going on. In Dark Heaven, all sorts of things can be traded. That's why Dark Heaven has always been unpopular. But once you're here, you have to follow the rules. When he entered, Lin Fei could sense that Dark Heaven was different. There were quite a few experts, especially Dark Samsara, who was at the entrance. He was simply a killing machine. Anyone who dared to act rashly would be suppressed. Not long later, Lin Fei and demon god Anlin arrived at a huge city. This city was extremely huge, spanning over 1,000,000 miles. This was the only city in the entire Dark Heaven. Hence, the population was huge. It was normal for it to be over 1,000,000 miles in size. The The city's name was also very simple, Dark Heaven. After arriving, one could see experts everywhere. Demon god Anlin had been here a few times. He brought Lin Fei to a place in the center of the city. This is the Samsara auction house. It is also the largest auction house, even in the whole macro world. It is considered to be in the top 5. With such a huge auction, there would indeed be grudge beads and faith beads. The two walked into the venue side by side. After entering, there was a huge hall. In this hall, Lin Fei could even see many bounty missions. Each mission represented a reward. Demon god Anlin didn't look at these bounty missions. He brought Lin Fei to a workbench. "Hello, Lord Demon God. How may I be of service?" Demon god Anlin didn't hide his aura. He appeared as a demon god. The people in the hall seemed to be used to it and didn't even give it a second glance. Demon god Anlin's body was blocked by magic, so no one could see clearly. "I want to know if anyone is selling grudge beads or faith beads here today." Lin Fei didn't come, so he could only let demon god Anlin do it. Fortunately, Lin Fei had a lot of magical crystals on him. He was right. The common currency used in this great world was something called magic crystal. Although it was only one word different from origin crystal, there was still a big difference. This was because the mana gathered in the mana crystals could be absorbed quickly, but the mana crystals didn't have it. "Please wait a moment, I'll go check it out." The person on the workbench turned around and went to investigate. Anlin sent a voice transmission. Things like the grudge beads are quite popular in the Dark Haven. They're very helpful to dark magicians. Hearing this, Lin Fei knew that it would be quite troublesome to get a large number of grudge beads. No matter what, this was a chance. Although he could get it by farming aggro, it was more or less dangerous. However, it was still more or less dangerous. If he was not careful, he would become the public enemy. At that time, everyone would be his enemy. Thinking about that sour feeling, he felt that it would be better to obtain the resentment prayer beads and not have to be chased all the way. "Lord Demon God, I've just checked. We don't have many resentment beads left. We only have 100,000 resentment beads left. I wonder if you want them?" Demon God Anlin said without hesitation. "Then hand over 100,000 grudge beads." At the same time, he took out a card. This was a card with Dark Samsara on it. This is the Dark Samsara card created by Dark Haven. You can store magical crystals inside, so you just need to use the card. It's quite convenient and simple. The 100,000 resentment thought beads cost Anlin 10 million demonic crystals in total. 10 million magical crystals might not seem like a lot, but it wasn't that easy to earn them. An ordinary demon lord's net worth was only about 20 million to 30 million. It would be good if they could reach 50 million magical crystals. As for demon gods, they were basically worth 300 million to 400 million magical crystals. The more powerful ones could earn 700 million to 800 million. But most people didn't have that many magical crystals. 10 million could only buy 100,000 grudge beads. To be honest, it wasn't cheap at all. After obtaining the 100,000 resentment thought beads, Anlin handed them over to Lin Fei. He was looking forward to it. Lin Fei was also looking forward to it. If it worked, he would have found a shortcut. At most, he would work hard to earn those magical crystals himself. After causing a ruckus in the great demonic world, Lin Fei had earned quite a lot of magical crystals. He now had a net worth of at least 100 million. Lin Fei obviously wouldn't hand over what was in his hands. In the Dark Samsara Hall, there was a private room for that. The two of them opened one. Once they sat inside, they were isolated from everything else. Lin Fei took out a grudge bead. It looked like a black bead. As soon as Lin Fei held it in his hand, he felt a strong sense of hatred. This kind of hatred was rare. These grudge beads were collected by dark mages through all kinds of cruel methods. Or rather, They were obtained by massacring an entire city. People don't like them. Lin Fei held it in his hands and felt it silently. There was indeed hatred. It was very intense. Just as demon god Anlin had said, they must have been tortured and collected. He had to admire the methods of these dark mages. It was indeed impressive. Compared to them, he was really lacking. Of course, Lin Fei couldn't do something like that. Ding discovered intense hatred. Should I absorb it and convert it into hatred? There was a ding. Lin Fei heard the most beautiful sound. He could finally put down the thing he was most worried about. It turned out that this grudge bead could really be converted into hatred. Now, Lin Fei could finally relax. Demon god Anlin was also quite anxious. After all, Lin Fei's strength as an invader increased. Or rather, this thing was useful to him. When the time came, he would naturally have more confidence in destroying that 4-star demon god. How is it? Is it effective? Lin Fei smiled and nodded. I'm quite lucky. This thing is useful to me. However, this grudge bead isn't cheap. Demon god Anlin heaved a sigh of relief. We don't need to buy it here. We can go to the dark mages and ask them. I believe they will take it out. Chapter 47:17. Lin Fei wasn't surprised that demon god Anlin would say something like that. If he wanted to get the resentment beads, other than buying them, he would have to rob them. Lin Fei also believed that demon god Anlin should know where many dark magic casters lived. When the time came, the two of them would go there openly. They would definitely be able to contribute the resentment beads. This was a good thing. For example, when the system absorbed the resentment beads just now, although he only bought 100,000 resentment beads, the amount of hatred he gained was a little beyond Lin Fei's expectations. This ratio was a little high. 100,000 resentment beads. He contributed 1,000,000 hatred points to Lin Fei in one go. This ratio was really quite high. It was even a little scary. For a moment, Lin Fei wondered if he had made a mistake. It wasn't easy to gain hatred points. Now that he had the resentment beads, Lin Fei felt that it was much easier. Without a doubt, the other type of faith beads was honor points. In any case, there was something similar. In other words, be it the resentment beads or faith beads, they would be of great help to Lin Fei's cultivation. He really came to the right place. Lin Fei bought another 100,000 faith beads. He wanted to see how many honor points he could exchange for. This was a little worse than the resentment beads, but it also allowed Lin Fei to obtain 800,000 honor points. This ratio was a little worse, but it was still within Lin Fei's acceptable range. Lord Demon God, if you want the resentment beads, you can attend the auction in half a month. I heard that there will be a batch of resentment beads or faith beads for sale. The staff member suddenly said. Lin Fei's eyes lit up. I wonder how many there will be in general. Can you give us a number? That way we can be mentally prepared. Lin Fei asked. The employee thought that Lin Fei was Demon God Anlin's subordinate, so he didn't have any doubts. The number of resentment beads and faith beads for sale this time is quite large, so we need a huge amount of magic crystals. I remember there are about 100 million resentment beads. Even Fiend Celestial Anlin was surprised. Such a large amount of resentment beads was truly rare. Usually, a large sum of money was only tens of millions. 30 to 50 million resentment thought beads were hard to come by, but this time it was 100 million resentment thought beads. That was different, and anyone would be tempted, especially for dark magicians. Yes, it is indeed 100 million grudge beads. Lin Fei had originally planned on going out with Demon God Anlin to rob those dark magic casters, but he didn't expect to hear such good news in the blink of an eye. 100 million resentment beads, if all of them were absorbed, it meant that he could get 10 billion hatred points. That was a huge number. If he could obtain such a large amount of grudge thought beads, Lin Fei had every reason to believe that his strength would improve by leaps and bounds. At that time, it wouldn't be a problem for him to become a top-notch expert in another world. He could exchange for all sorts of 3,000 great daos to strengthen himself, and his strength would become even stronger. This made Lin Fei decide in an instant. No matter what, he had to obtain this resentment prayer bead. Demon God Anlin and Lin Fei left dark samsara. I think you have an idea. Of course, Demon God Anlin could feel the subtle change in Lin Fei. Lin Fei nodded. I do have an idea. This batch of resentment prayer beads is really to my liking. I have to get them no matter what. However, these 100 million resentment prayer beads are definitely not cheap. They might be able to be auctioned for more than 1 billion magical crystals. This was just a simple estimate by Lin Fei. He would definitely be able to get them for at least 1 billion magical crystals. At that time, it would be unknown whether the final price would be 5 billion or 2 billion magical crystals. To any dark magic caster, this was definitely a huge attraction. I'm afraid I can't do anything about this. Such a huge amount of magical crystals should be taken by those top-notch forces. Only they can take it out. Demon God Enlin shook his head helplessly. It was really a huge number. It would be fine if this number was a little smaller. However, it was more than 1 billion, so he could only watch helplessly. It doesn't matter. Moreover, I can't take out more than 1 billion magical crystals if I really go to the auction. However, that doesn't mean that we can't have an idea for these resentment prayer beads. Lin Fei would definitely not participate in the auction. Even if he did, he wouldn't be able to take out more than 1 billion magical crystals, and that was just a simple estimate. For those dark magic casters who wanted to improve their strength, this was a chance to do so. They would definitely bid crazily. When that time came, not just any force could participate in it. Are you waiting for the auction to end before ambushing them? But it's quite difficult to ambush them. After all, they will definitely be fully prepared when they come. Even if they leave, you might not be able to catch up. Demon God Anlin didn't think that the ambush would succeed. With such a huge amount of magical crystals, they could also buy resentment prayer beads. They would definitely be able to safely evacuate. Ambushing them and successfully leaving was no different from reaching the sky. If it was Lin Fei in the past, he would really be helpless and could only watch. However, he now had the leisurely leveling system. There were 3,000 dazzling great paths, and there would definitely be one that was suitable for Lin Fei. Of course I know what I'm doing. Since there's still half a month left, I think you should do me a favor, and that is to collect some resentment prayer beads first. Lin Fei didn't have many magical crystals in his pocket, and neither did Demon God Anlin. Magical crystals were all useful, so he could only ask the dark magic casters for them. To Lin Fei, ambushing the last bidder was very simple. As long as he could lock onto the other party's tracks, it would be a success. Hence, he had to exchange for a powerful great path, and one that could track people. That way, no matter how far they went, they wouldn't be able to escape from Lin Fei's pursuit. By then, it would be very possible for him to obtain 100 million resentment prayer beads. The problem was that in this half a month, Lin Fei had to obtain enough resentment prayer beads to exchange for a powerful, great path of tracking. That was the only way to obtain 100 million resentment prayer beads. Hence, he really had to count on Demon God Anlin to participate in this matter. This was the only way he could easily obtain it. As long as it's helpful to you, I naturally won't refuse. After all, your strength has increased. When the time comes, you'll have a higher chance of killing that 4-star demon god. Lin Fei and Demon God Anlin left the dark heavens again. This time after they left, quite a few things happened in this alternate world. For example, dark magic casters were frequently robbed, and they didn't even recognize who the robbers were. It was a crushing defeat. Chapter 47:18. Dark Samsara welcomed another lively auction. Compared to previous auctions, this time's auction was much more intense. That was because the main event this time was the 100 million grudge thought beads. As for who sent them up for auction, no one knew. In any case, it was a mysterious person. After the news spread, it was like a huge pie fell from the sky to those dark mages. As long as they obtained this batch of grudge thought beads, it would definitely greatly increase their strength. Or it could be said that they would be able to refine powerful treasures. Those powerful dark mages also came one after another. To them, this was a huge attraction. It was really rare to see 100 million grudge thought beads appear at once. Isn't that the skeleton demon god? I didn't expect him to come too. I heard that his skeleton summoning technique is very terrifying, able to topple mountains and overturn seas. The skeleton demon god is a famous person. He's best at using numbers. If you fight with him, you won't even see the skeleton demon god before being torn to pieces by his skeleton army. Isn't that the Bai demon god? He actually came too. I heard that he's ranked 9th among the dark mages. One by one, the dark great mages also came. They sat in dark Samsara's auction house. Any one of the dark grand magicians here would be able to give people a great shock. Everyone didn't dare to say anything. They just sat there obediently. In a corner nearby, there were 2 people sitting there. These 2 people were demon god Anlin and Lin Fei. They had been busy for 13 days. There wasn't a single moment when they were free. They were really tired. Luckily, they managed to rush back before the auction. There are too many dark mages who want to buy the grudge thought beads this time. There are already 6 demon gods in this private room. They should all be supporters of dark mages. Demon god Anlin sat there without moving, but he had already retracted his aura. It really wasn't easy to find out that she was a demon god. Demon god Anlin could see traces of demon gods in the surrounding private rooms. Lin Fei also sensed that there were indeed 6 demon gods. Other than that, there were also some powerful dark aura experts. He didn't need to guess to know that they were dark great mages. It was even more difficult for a dark magician to become a demon god, because this step was too difficult. The path of dark mages was a little different from that of ordinary mages, so it was more difficult for them to break through. Anyway, let's just watch the show. No matter who wins the grudge prayer beads, we'll just take action. They're in the open while we're in the dark. Naturally, we'll have a great chance. 13 days. Lin Fei didn't work in vain. He plundered a lot of resentment beads and accumulated almost 30 million hatred points. In one go, he exchanged for a Great Tao ranked in the top 500. The Great Tao was called the Great Tracking Technique. As long as he was locked onto by Lin Fei, he would naturally be able to pursue him all the way to the end. In fact, even Lin Fei would not have a chance to detect him. Originally, Lin Fei planned to get a more powerful one, but the higher the ranking, the higher the hatred, so Lin Fei gave up on that idea. As long as he got the 100 million resentment beads, he would have 10 billion hatred points. At that time, he would be able to learn the true top 3,000 Great Taos. It was not like these, which were all medium quality goods, which were the so-called mainstream goods. Are you sure you can follow the final winner? Demon God Anlin also knew Lin Fei's method. That was to follow the final winner. It was easy to say, but it was difficult to do it. Not everyone could follow a fiend celestial powerhouse like this. When the time came, they would leave, quietly. Even if they wanted to follow them, it would be too difficult. Moreover, not everyone could follow a demon god. My plan works. No matter who takes away the 100 million resentment beads, I'll be able to catch up to them. They won't be able to refine something like this immediately. They'll definitely need to find a safe place to do so. This is our chance. Demon God Anlin agreed with this point. After all, not everyone could refine something like the resentment prayer beads. It was indeed an opportunity. Soon, the people who entered the venue arrived. In the end, there were 10 demon gods. They were all in the private rooms, and their bodies were shrouded in layers of power. It was very special. Lin Fei directly used the Great Tracking Technique and left a mark on them. This Great Tracking Technique was very mysterious and very special. One had to know that it was exchanged for 30 million hatred points. It was ranked in the top 500 of the 3,000 Great Tao. Indeed, you get your price for the goods. There was no comparison. Lin Fei also heard some other topics. That was about the two shameless fellows who had been appearing recently. They were secretly dealing with the dark magicians and robbing them of their resentment prayer beads, causing a huge commotion. Until now, no one had been able to find out. Today's auction will be the most intense in history. It's also a rare scene because today's finale treasure is 100 million resentment prayer beads. The auctioneer quickly went on stage. First, he stirred up the mood before starting today's auction. Everyone knew the finale treasure, so the competition for the items in front wasn't very intense. The deal was quite good. Lin Fei looked along the way and felt that these things were okay, but he had no interest in making a move. All he needed to do now was watch the show. Most importantly, which demon god had the 100 million grievance beads. That was the most important thing. 2 hours later, finally, it was time for the finale treasure to be auctioned. The 100 million resentment prayer beads were also sent up. The 100 million resentment prayer beads were stored in a treasure. Everyone could see the hatred gathered together. Those without any strength had their pupils dilated on the spot, and their faces turned pale. They couldn't withstand the attack of that kind of resentment. This must be the destruction of a large city from another world. This resentment is too strong. It's really too fascinating. It's a pity that we can only see it and not buy it. I wonder which demon god will buy these 100 million resentment prayer beads today. It'll probably be sold for more than 2 billion magic crystals. Everyone's eyes never left it. All dark magicians know the use of resentment prayer beads. This is the first time we've seen such a large number of resentment prayer beads. The starting price is 1 billion magic crystals. The starting price was 1 billion magic crystals. This price was what many people had guessed. Actually, it wasn't surprising. After all, there had to be a threshold for such a large number of resentment prayer beads. It wouldn't do if there wasn't a threshold. Then anyone could compete for the resentment prayer beads. The threshold of 1 billion magic crystals was enough to stop most people. Chapter 47:19. The starting price of 1 billion magical crystals wasn't surprising at all. To be honest, the starting price was rather low. However, it was enough to stop 99% of the people. At the very least, they could only watch helplessly. They didn't have the strength to compete for this batch of grudge beads. 100 million grudge beads. Lin Fei couldn't help but look forward to it. After all, this batch of grudge beads was very important to him. Whether he could improve his strength or not depended on it. Wanting to kill a 4-star demon god was both easy and difficult. As long as Lin Fei's strength increased again, he would naturally be able to survive in this alternate world. At the very least, he would be able to obtain more grudge beads or faith beads. This was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. No matter what, Lin Fei wanted to take a gamble. He couldn't miss this opportunity. When the price was announced, the people in the private rooms started fighting over it. Even though Lin Fei wasn't very familiar with the demon gods in these private rooms, things were different with demon god Anlin beside him. He started introducing them. He introduced them in great detail. By the time they finished their rounds, Lin Fei knew who the people in these boxes belonged to. Everyone in this private room was a powerful force, and their financial resources were also very strong. In a short time, the price had exceeded 2 billion magical crystals. This was different from what Lin Fei had imagined. It was much faster. And it made the others feel different. Indeed, dark mages loved grudge beads. The price had actually exceeded 2 billion magical crystals in a short time. It seemed like it could even exceed 3 billion magical crystals. That was an astronomical figure. Private room, 6 bids 2. 1 billion magical crystals. Private room, 7 bids 2. 2 billion magical crystals. After observing for a while, Lin Fei felt that private rooms 3 and 6 were the most impressive. The price had also skyrocketed. Their contributions were indelible. I reckon that the winner of this batch of grudge beads will be between private rooms 3 and 6. These two forces are the top forces in our world. Only they can take out so many magical crystals so quickly. Demon God Anlin understood these two factions very well. It was also a very acknowledgement. For example, right now, private room number 3 had already bid to 9 billion. The people in room number 6 seemed to be hesitating. After all, this number was quite large and could be considered an astronomical figure. Not just any fiend celestial could bring it out. An ordinary demon god would only have 200 to 300 million magical crystals, while the more powerful ones would only have 400 to 500 million magical crystals. As for the 2 billion magical crystals, that wasn't something that could be easily earned. If he wasn't careful, he would lose his life. For demon gods, most of them would be tempted if a huge amount of magical crystals were to appear somewhere. Earning money was not easy. As long as there was a chance to make money, he would not miss it. This is just my personal guess. It's hard to say whether there will be people in other rooms who will bid for it when the time comes. Demon God Enlin added. Lin Fei smiled. That doesn't really matter. Anyway, as long as the results are out, I will naturally be able to lock onto the winner. We can just follow slowly when the time comes. After a short moment of silence, private room number 6 started bidding again. Number 3 and number 6 were engaged in another intense game of catch-up. In a short period of time, it broke through to 5 billion magical crystals. It was a terrifying number that far exceeded everyone's expectations. The auctioneer was also very excited. This price was indeed a little beyond imagination. No one could have imagined that 100 million resentment beads could be sold for such a high price. Private room number 3 has bid 5 billion magical crystals. I wonder if there are any more rooms. If no one else bids, then the 100 million resentment beads today will belong to private room number 3. Private room number 3 was quite fierce. After all, the faction that private room number 3 belonged to was also quite strong. They also had the ability to take out 5 billion magical crystals. Private room number 6 seemed to be much worse off. Private room number 3 once, private room number 3 twice. The auctioneer had already decided to announce the final winner. The final winner would be private room number 3. Just as he was confirming for the 3rd time, a man in black suddenly raised his hand, and a faint voice floated over. You can't even take out a mere 5 billion magical crystals? How dare you bid for this resentment bead? I bid 4 billion magical crystals. It was like a heavy bomb that instantly exploded in everyone's hearts. No one had expected that someone in the individual seats would actually bid for billion magical crystals after the bid from the private rooms had been reached. Even the auctioneer was alarmed. Sir, are you sure you want to bid for billion magical crystals? You should know that 4 billion magical crystals is not a small number. If the private rooms had bid 4 billion magical crystals, the auctioneer definitely wouldn't have thought much of it. However, it was different for the individual seats. Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk a card flew over and stopped steadily in front of the auctioneer. Do you believe me now? It was another faint voice. The auctioneer's gaze instantly became respectful. It turned out to be a purple gold card that emitted a layer of hazy light. The auctioneer was instantly alarmed. It also moved the people present. Wow, it's actually a purple gold card. What's the name of this purple gold card? Why can't I remember it? I remember now. Isn't the purple gold card called the Supreme Card? I heard that a Supreme Card can only be made with 10 billion magical crystals. There are only a handful of purple gold cards in the entire dark samsara. Someone exclaimed on the spot. It was really hard for them to believe. They actually saw a purple gold Supreme Card today. He could easily get 10 billion magical crystals from it. It was no wonder that the auctioneer started to be moved. It was a supreme card. He hadn't even looked at it more than a few times. "Sir, you're too polite. You have a supreme card. I'm sorry for offending you." The purple gold card slowly flew back and landed in the hands of the man in black. At this moment, many people were observing the man in black. They were surprised that no matter how they observed, they couldn't see his face clearly. There was a layer of power blocking their view. Lin Fei was also very shocked. He had the great danger detection spell, but he didn't sense any danger. He also didn't know that the man in black was an expert. Seems like there's a change in the situation. There's a strong person here. Lin Fei secretly sucked in a breath of cold air. Chapter 47:20. Actually, Lin Fei was very surprised. Who would have thought that there would be a tiger blocking the way halfway through? He directly raised the price to 4 billion. He even flashed a purple gold Supreme Being card. One could imagine what the outcome would be. It's quite surprising. This man in black is very strong. He's at least a demon god. I don't know how many stars he is exactly. I can't tell how strong he is. It's too vague. Demon god Anlin was also very surprised. An unfamiliar expert had appeared and brought a Supreme Being card with him. The last 100 million resentment beads might really end up in his hands. Demon god Anlin couldn't help but worry for Lin Fei. He didn't know why Lin Fei was so interested in the 100 million resentment beads. It might not be a good thing for such a person to appear now. It was definitely a bad thing. Lin Fei obviously didn't want any powerful demon god to appear. If a powerful demon god appeared and reached the level of 5 or 6 stars, it would be too difficult to obtain this resentment thought bead. Even Lin Fei wasn't confident. For example, right now Lin Fei was speechless. Was his luck really that bad? He had everything planned out, but someone came to block his way and even flashed a purple gold Supreme Being card. Wasn't he just telling everyone one thing? "I'm interested in the 100 million resentment beads. You guys don't need it." His only hope now was for Room 3 to put in more effort and compete with this mysterious person. I can only leave it to fate. I'll just have to take it one step at a time. If there's really no hope, I'll have to find another way. Lin Fei was helpless when he encountered such a situation. He didn't have any demonic crystals in his pocket. The other party kept calling for 4 billion demonic crystals, and the Supreme Being card could get 10 billion demonic crystals. No matter how he looked at it, the other party was a winner. "Our Room 3 is interested in the 100 million resentment beads. I hope you can give it to us. We'll owe you a favor then." A voice came from Room 3. They were very interested in the resentment beads. Otherwise, they wouldn't have taken the initiative to speak up, hoping that this black-clothed man would give them face. The black-clothed man said coldly, "How much is your face worth? If you don't have the money, then don't come to the auction. I've taken a liking to these 100 million resentment beads. If you have the ability, then bid. If you don't, then shut up." When everyone heard this, they knew that room number 3 was probably done for. This black-clothed man was not going to give way at all. Room 3 struggled for a moment before calling out the highest bid, 4.5 billion magic crystals. Hopefully, he could suppress this black-clothed man. In the end, the man in black came up with a price of 6 billion, suppressing the other party again. Although it was not a lot, only 6 billion. It was enough to make room 3 completely lose their chance. 6 billion magical crystals going once, 6 billion magical crystals going twice, 6 billion magical crystals going thrice. Congratulations on obtaining 100 million grudge beads, sir. The auctioneer was the happiest. The price was much higher than he had expected. It was a premium. He was not interested in the background of this black-clothed man. He only wanted to sell the resentment beads for a high price. That was his job as an auctioneer. Everyone present was also sighing. No one had expected that the person in the room would not get the resentment beads in the end. Instead, it would be bought by a black-clothed man. Lin Fei also knew that this would happen, so he quietly used the great tracking spell. Fortunately, it did not disappoint Lin Fei. His great tracking spell had really been cast on the black-clothed man. Even the black-clothed man did not notice it. You get what you pay for. If it had been a normal type, the black-clothed man would have noticed it long ago. Then he would not be able to follow the black-clothed man, unlike now. I'm guessing that room 3 will definitely not let this go. The 100 million grievance beads are like a big piece of meat. This black-clothed man is definitely in trouble. Lin Fei did not think that the black-clothed man would have an easy time in the future. With such a fortune in hand, everyone would definitely move. I feel that this black-clothed man came without any warning. He came so openly, as if he did not care about his life at all. When the time comes, we have to be careful if we really want to follow him. Let's observe him first. I feel that this black-clothed man is a little different. Demon god Anlin frowned slightly. He also felt that this black-clothed man was a little different, but he could not put his finger on it. Lin Fei nodded. Naturally, he could hear demon god Anlin's cautiousness. Don't worry, I will be careful. If I really can't get it, then forget it. We'll be the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. At the same time, the expressions of the 2 demon gods in room 3 changed a little. They were originally in a winning situation, but such a huge change suddenly happened. It was snatched away by a black-clothed man. This made them unable to sit still. Contact someone immediately. No matter who this guy is, as long as he has the 100 million grievance beads, we have to take action. Although the black-clothed man had a purple gold supreme card, they did not really care. Who knew where this card came from? Without strength, anyone could deal with it. They were determined to get the grievance beads. If they could snatch it from the black-clothed man, they would save 4 billion demonic crystals. No, it was 6 billion demonic crystals. That was an astronomical figure. Who wouldn't be willing to make such a deal? Room 3 was not the only one who had their eyes on the black-clothed man. The people in the other rooms also moved upon hearing the news. They could not tell the black-clothed man's cultivation realm immediately, but they were still confident that they could get their hands on this batch of grievance beads. By the time Lin Fei and demon god Anlin came out, the black-clothed man was nowhere to be seen. Lin Fei did not care much. This black-clothed man is quite fast. My great tracking skill has been locked onto him. We can just take our time and rush over. There's no rush. With the great tracking skill, Lin Fei was really not in a rush at all. He had to admit that the black-clothed man was indeed quite fast. If not for the great tracking skill, he would definitely be watching helplessly. The black-clothed man's speed was not fast, but it was not slow either. He was about a 4-star heavenly god or even a 5-star heavenly god. This really surprised Lin Fei. This kind of strength was indeed quite top-notch. It might not be a good thing to be so ostentatious. He might suffer a huge loss at any time. Just catching up to this black-clothed man took Lin Fei almost half a month. What made Lin Fei relieved was that this black-clothed man had actually stopped at the same place for almost half a month. To be honest, Lin Fei was quite worried that this black-clothed man would refine the 100 million grievance beads. In that case, it would really be a waste of time. Bookseller's website. Chapter 47:21. When they were still very far away, Lin Fei stopped. Fiend Celestial Anlin was rather surprised. He did not know why Lin Fei had stopped. Could it be that he had sensed that something was wrong? Is there something wrong in front of us? I don't feel anything. As a demon god Anlin really didn't sense any danger. He believed that this intruder called Lin Fei was much more mysterious than him. Perhaps he saw something different. Lin Fei smiled and nodded. You're right. It's indeed a little unusual. That person hasn't moved at all. Also, I sense a dangerous aura. Along the way, Lin Fei didn't underestimate him, so he kept his eyes on him. Along the way, he felt that something was amiss. He even used the great danger perception and really sensed danger. The danger was all around that man. This meant that this black-clothed person wasn't as simple as he thought. He might have even set up a super huge trap. As for why he had such a thought, it could be considered an instinct of Lin Fei. He felt that there was definitely something wrong with that black-clothed person. Coupled with the great danger perception, he was even more certain. There was no danger in any direction. There was danger in the black-clothed person's position. That was the most unbelievable thing about it. Lin Fei believed in the mystic arts produced by the system more than anyone else. Demon God Anlin frowned slightly. Then what should we do? Don't tell me we don't go over? You've always wanted those grievance beads. If we miss this opportunity, who knows when the next one will be? Demon God Anlin wanted to kill that 4-star demon god more than anyone else. He also knew that it wasn't easy to kill a 4-star demon god, so he really needed Lin Fei's help this time. Lin Fei indeed sensed danger. Even with his current strength, he would definitely be in big trouble if he could sense danger. Luckily, Lin Fei's greatest source of confidence was the leisurely leveling system. There were many cultivation techniques in it. In addition, he had some hatred points on hand. He could really give it a try. Let's just watch from afar. If it doesn't work, we'll leave. This was also the solution that Lin Fei came up with. The two of them continued flying forward. After a few days, they finally got close to the area. It was also very quiet. But for Lin Fei, he felt that the danger was getting greater and greater. Demon God Anlin also saw the changes in Lin Fei. Did you feel something again? Lin Fei suddenly laughed bitterly. No matter how hard we tried, we really couldn't defend against it because we accidentally fell into this big trap. Whoosh! The surroundings instantly changed. There was an earth-shattering change. He had arrived at an uninhabited small world. It was even more powerful than Mike's heaven and earth reversal. The strong smell of blood permeated the air. The entire uninhabited small world was littered with corpses, and in the middle of this corpse stood a man in black. Who else could it be other than the person who bought the resentment prayer beads? That's right. Another demon god came, a 2-star demon god. Although his strength is a little weak, he can still be counted as hundreds of thousands of resentment prayer beads. He should be able to make do with it. Lin Fei and Fiend Celestial Anlin's expressions changed. Even though Lin Fei already knew that there was danger here, he still sensed it with his great danger perception. He had also sensed it with his great danger perception, but he hadn't expected to fall for it despite being so far away. Demon God Anlin thought more than Lin Fei. He suddenly exclaimed, "I know who you are. You're that demon. You were the one who took out the 100 million resentment prayer beads." Lin Fei was a little confused, but he soon understood what was going on. Perhaps this was deliberately set up by the man in black. The man in black laughed loudly. "I didn't expect that there would still be people who remembered my existence. That's right. I am the king of 10,000 demons. This trap was also set up by me. It can't be helped. I lack the resentment prayer beads. You are the 8th demon god who has entered this trap." Demon God Anlin sent a voice transmission to Lin Fei. "We are in a very bad situation now. We have encountered a big demon, the king of 10,000 demons in front of us. This guy is the most terrifying of all the dark magicians. He has mastered a powerful technique that can create hatred, which is the so-called resentment. He then uses this resentment to cultivate, so he is the strongest dark magician." This was really not a good news. Lin Fei also knew what was going on. This guy probably took the 100 million resentment prayer beads to the auction house and exposed his identity, attracting the pursuit of countless experts. Then he set up a trap here. No matter how many came, he would be killed. No wonder this guy came here after coming out and didn't move anymore. He was obviously waiting for people to come and kill them. The corpses here were the best proof. Quite a number of demon gods had died. Demon god Anlin was the 8th. Lin Fei knew that they had encountered trouble today. This troublesome matter was not an ordinary one. Do you know how strong this guy is? Fiend Celestial Anlin sent a voice transmission. This fellow was a 6-star Fiend Celestial at his peak. Later on, he was besieged by Fiend Celestial experts. I heard that he was nearly killed. He disappeared for 2,000 years. I didn't expect him to come out now, but I don't think he is that strong. At most, he is a 4-star demon god. He probably borrowed the power of this array. Lin Fei couldn't help but let out a bitter laugh. Another 4-star demon god. He hadn't even fought with a 4-star demon god, and a 4-star demon god came. He even ran into someone else's array. That was indeed quite powerful. Lin Fei knew his own strength. There was still a gap between him and a 4-star demon god, especially this king of demons. In the past, he had once reached the peak of 6-star demon god. His strength had decreased, but he was still not someone ordinary people could fight against. The two of you can stop struggling. A 2-star demon god and an ordinary Empyrean lord. Although their strength is not bad, they are too weak in front of me. Just obediently accept your fate. There was a loud rumbling sound. 2 colossal figures walked out of the void. These 2 colossal figures looked like humans, but they exuded a cold and gloomy aura. It's really over this time. That fellow actually managed to refine this thing. Demon god Anlin was shocked once again. This is the war god of demons. Chapter 47:22. Actually, there was no need for demon god Anlin to say it. Lin Fei could already tell that this black giant creature was extraordinarily strong. I didn't expect someone to recognize this 10,000 demon war god. That's right, this is my 10,000 demon war god. Each one of them is invincible and has invincible close combat strength. They are specially used to deal with you demon gods. The moment he said that, 2 10,000 demon war gods flew over. He pulled out a huge axe from the void and swung it down just like that. With just this move, both Lin Fei and demon god Anlin knew how terrifying it was. Lin Fei instantly put up his defenses and used the great slicer technique. The 10,000 demon war god was too fast. With just one slash, he chopped down on Lin Fei's body. Voila, voila! Countless layers of treasures instantly collapsed. Following that, a ferocious torrent of energy came crashing down. Lin Fei's entire body was sent flying. In midair, the void behind him also rumbled. With just one attack, Lin Fei experienced how strong the 10,000 demon war god was. The 10,000 demon war god had already surpassed the limit of the Emperor Lord level and had the strength of a heavenly god. Demon god Anlin didn't have it easy either. After all, the 10,000 demon war god was very strong. He was a close combat expert. In just one battle, demon god Anlin was pinned down. Beams of cold light surrounded Fiend Celestial Anlin. If it weren't for the formidable treasures he possessed, he would have been killed by the myriad demon war god in just a few exchanges. I've already told you to stop struggling. It's useless. In front of my war god of 10,000 demons, you'll die without a doubt. But don't worry, I'll only let them chop off all 4 of your legs so that you'll be filled with hatred. I'll also let you experience the feeling of living a life worse than death. Only then will I be able to squeeze out resentment from your bodies and refine the bead of resentment. Lin Fei finally understood. Why were the corpses here so incomplete? So they were all tortured. At the same time, he seemed to understand why the 10,000 Demon King didn't attack. If there was no accident, it should be absorbing and extracting this resentment, then refining it into grudge thought beads. Lin Fei waved his hand. With a loud rumbling sound, countless bolts of lightning appeared in the sky above the 1,000 Devil King, directly smashing down. A deep pit appeared on the ground. Even the eyes of the 10,000 Demon King turned cold at this moment. I've underestimated you. To think that you have such means. You're not a sovereign emperor, but your strength is close to that of a demonic god. Lightning was something that possessed the power of great destruction to begin with. Dealing with the king of 10,000 devils already made him feel somewhat disgusted. He waved his hand. A dark cloud flew over and directly blocked the sky above their heads. At the same time, the myriad demon war god launched an even faster attack. The runes on the war god Aldemon's body kept flashing, increasing its speed and power. Instantly, Lin Fei found himself in a difficult position. We can't continue like this. This myriad devil king is truly quite strong. Just 2 myriad devil war gods are enough to kill a demon god. Now that they're separated, they're already feeling the pressure. And when they join forces, they're even more terrifying. Just now, Lin Fei had suffered a bit of the opponent's attack. Even his treasure body was almost completely destroyed. Even his infinite god body was shaken. This caused Lin Fei to be even more afraid to take it head-on. He knew that this axe was definitely an extremely powerful treasure. You guys can forget about escaping from here. This formation of mine isn't an ordinary formation. It's an ancient formation that has been lost for generations. I spent 500 years to repair it. Once you enter, there's no need for you to leave. No one will notice the commotion here. The king of 10,000 demons looked over coldly. As Lin Fei continued to attack, the great slicer technique enveloped the king of 10,000 demons. Above his head was lightning, and on his left and right were the sharp, great slicer technique. For a moment, the king of 10,000 demons was in a bad mood. Lin Fei, the king of 10,000 demons, should be refining and absorbing the grudge thought beads. If he's free, you and I won't be a match for him. Anlin transmitted over. Actually, even without demon god Anlin saying it, Lin Fei could see it. The king of 10,000 demons was indeed very strong. For example, the great art of thunderclap and great slicer technique were very strong. In front of him, he was easily forced to use them. If not for Lin Fei's deep accumulation, he really wouldn't be able to continue attacking. Even so, it didn't affect the king of 10,000 demons too much. This also made Lin Fei realize that if he had enough hatred, he had to exchange for a powerful Tao. The great slicer technique was still a little lacking compared to the great art of thunderclap. In front of a 4-star demon god, it was like playing house. Which means to say, now is the only time we can counterattack. Right? I have a powerful treasure here that can suppress him for a short period of time. However, it's just a breath of time. I wonder if you have a way to heavily injure him. Demon god Anlin couldn't take it anymore. There were already many wounds on his body. This 10,000 demon war god was too strong. His body wasn't as strong as Lin Fei's, so Lin Fei's body was still very well maintained. If you can suppress him for a breath of time, then I can also try to heavily injure him. Lin Fei's eyes lit up. If he could make this king of 10,000 demons not move for a breath of time, then he would naturally be able to injure him. Lin Fei didn't think that this king of 10,000 demons' body was very strong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have specially refined 2 10,000 demon war gods. One could imagine how weak this guy's body was. This was Lin Fei's chance. He wanted to use spiritual projection to send it over, but he was afraid that his opponent was too strong and his spiritual projection wouldn't work. Now that he heard demon god Anlin's words, he seemed to understand. If he could suppress him for a breath of time, that meant that his spiritual projection would be able to heavily injure him. Don't underestimate Lin Fei's full power. He would definitely be able to let this king of 10,000 demons experience true terror. At the very least, he would be able to heavily injure his body. When his body was heavily injured, how long would he be able to stay here? I can make him stay here for a breath of time. However, after that, I won't have much strength left. Demon god Anlin went all out. If he didn't go all out, it would be over. Fortunately, this invader was stronger than he had imagined. He actually had some tricks up his sleeves. As long as you can suppress him for a breath of time, I have an 80% chance of heavily injuring his body. As long as his body isn't very strong, he won't have a chance to attack us again. Chapter 47:23. Lin Fei knew that he had to go all out now. Demon god Anlin also knew that he had to go all out now. If he didn't go all out now, he would really be finished. I think the two of you should just accept your fate. In front of me, you have no right to resist at all. The king of 10,000 fiends sneered and once again controlled the war god of 10,000 fiends to attack. His power seemed to have exploded. Demon god Anlin gritted his teeth and took out a treasure. The treasure looked very inconspicuous at first glance. It was a black ball. Under Fiend Celestial Anlin's control, the black ball instantly tore through the void. It arrived above the king of 10,000 fiends' head and instantly released a terrifying power. In that instant, the king of 10,000 devils was unable to move. Demon god Anlin quickly said, "Hurry up and do it." Although the black ball was activated, Lin Fei could feel demon god Anlin's aura rapidly plummeting. In other words, activating the black ball consumed too much energy. The king of 10,000 fiends also saw the black ball. He was stunned at first, then he was completely immobilized. He already knew what it was. Good, really good. I didn't expect to encounter such a treasure. It's just that this treasure can't be used in your hands. At most, it can only last for a breath's time. Thank you for giving me such a powerful treasure. With this treasure, it's more than enough for me to kill a 5-star demon god. The king of 10,000 fiends naturally knew what it was. That was the legendary body securing pearl. It was a rare treasure and extremely rare, and this was only one of them. It was said that there must be a total of 24 body securing pearls. Once all 24 body securing pearls were gathered together, it would become a super killing weapon. Unfortunately, no one had been able to gather all of them. It was already good enough to obtain one. This was a true heavenly god treasure. According to the grade, it was at least a 6-star heavenly god. However, it wasn't something an ordinary person could activate. Just look at demon god Anlin. A single move would drain almost all of his energy. Lin Fei didn't waste any time at all. Just as the black bead released its terrifying power, Lin Fei's eyes widened. Lin Fei moved. Spirit projection. He knew that if he wanted to deal with this king of 10,000 devils, he would have to heavily injure his physical body. But now he could only take a gamble and see if he could succeed. With a spirit projection, Lin Fei instantly entered the body of the king of 10,000 fiends. There was a loud bang, just the time of a breath. The fleshly body of this insufferably arrogant king of 10,000 demons was instantly blasted apart by Lin Fei. At this moment, Lin Fei did not hesitate at all. He erupted with all his power. Spirit projection was a close-range technique to begin with. Coupled with Lin Fei's terrifying accumulation, all the power in his body was consumed in an instant. Lin Fei didn't even think about whether he could succeed or not, so he could only go all out. He didn't believe that the fleshly body of this king of 10,000 demons would be so unbelievably strong that it could withstand all of his power. There was a loud rumble. The king of 10,000 demons' body split into pieces and turned into a pool of blood. Then a Jingguang came out. One could vaguely see that this Jingguang was a human figure. However, that human figure was extremely panicked and didn't stop at all. He just ran away and disappeared. Lin Fei sat on the ground, paralyzed. Then demon god Anlin did the same. Luckily, he took out a pill and ate it immediately. Demon god Anlin had recovered some of his strength. He immediately came to Lin Fei's side. "Lin Fei, are you okay?" "We succeeded. We finally chased the king of 10,000 demons away." Devil God Anlin knew that Lin Fei was very strong and was filled with mysteries. However, he didn't expect that Lin Fei would be able to destroy the body of the king of 10,000 fiends in an instant. Without a fleshly body, the king of 10,000 demons was like a fragrant steamed bun. This was also why he left in the blink of an eye. Hurry up and find out if he left that thing here. At this moment, Lin Fei was crazily swallowing pills. This was because his great danger perception had already sensed danger. Demon God Anlin was here too. Demon God Anlin didn't think much and immediately searched. He really did find a ring in the surroundings. This ring was the King of 10,000 Demons' ring. He handed it over to Lin Fei. Our luck is not bad. He left his ring behind. I don't think he could take it away in time. Seeing this ring, Lin Fei laughed. Ha 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 ha, it's great that both sides are injured. All the benefits are mine. A voice came from afar. It was filled with laughter. Lin Fei apologized to Demon God Anlin. He directly hugged Demon God Anlin, and with a swoosh, they left this place. After Lin Fei left, a figure appeared without any warning. When he arrived, the smile on his face instantly froze. What's going on? Where are they? They were clearly here just now. Both of them are injured. Where did they go? Did they hide? There were still people who knew about the commotion here. Thus, someone was lurking in the dark, unaware of the aureole behind, but who knew that the moment they appeared, the two auras disappeared just like that. Luckily, Lin Fei brought a lot of pills. After continuously swallowing, he was finally able to use the great teleportation technique. Just like that, Demon God Anlin leaned on Lin Fei's body. In the blink of an eye, they arrived in a lush forest, which meant that they were in a new small world. Lin Fei used his full strength to fly as far as he could. Anyway, they should still be in this alternate world. This was something he could be sure of. All the energy in his body was also used up at this moment. A demon god came. He couldn't wait to do this. Don't mind him, explained Lin Fei with a smile. Demon God Anlin shook his head. You don't have to explain. This is very normal. If not for you, I would probably be dead by now. He used the great danger detection technique to sense around. Luckily, there was no danger around. It should be quite safe. He heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, he took out pills and started to recover his energy. At the very least, he had to have some strength. Actually, I really didn't expect that you could actually injure the king of 10,000 demons' physical body. I guess it's too late for him to regret now. Without his physical body, his strength will probably drop even more. Although Demon God Anlin believed that Lin Fei could injure the king of 10,000 demon, he never expected that his vitality would be directly injured. Even his physical body would be destroyed. I also didn't expect the king of 10,000 demons' physical body to be so weak. I guess this is a common problem of you sorcerers. Chapter 47:24. A golden stream of light shuttled back and forth. He was the king of 10,000 demons. He never expected that his physical body would be destroyed by someone one day. That torrent-like power didn't allow him to resist at all and destroyed his physical body directly. If he didn't have a life-saving method, he would have been turned into ashes just now. My physical body, my treasures, they were all destroyed by that bastard. Luckily, I cultivated a special technique and cultivated a spiritual body. Otherwise, I would have died immediately. However, I can't expose this spiritual body to the outside world. I have to snatch a body as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'm finished. The king of 10,000 demons really didn't expect to lose so badly. He was instantly hit by a killer move. Coupled with the body-securing bead, he didn't have time to resist. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been in such a miserable state. His vitality would have been greatly damaged, and his vitality would have been severely depleted. He originally wanted to use the 100 million resentment beads to dig a big hole and reap a huge harvest. He never expected it to end up like this. There seems to be someone coming. Forget it. I have to hide first and snatch a body. Lin Fei naturally didn't know what the king of 10,000 demons was thinking. Even if he did, this guy probably needed to find a body to hide in. Otherwise, he would be like a walking golden doll outside. He wouldn't even know when he was captured. After recovering, Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. At the very least, he could use the great teleportation technique. This was the strongest life-saving method. Do you have a safe place here? We can't just stay outside like this. If we get chased by a demon god, we really won't be able to hold on. It's the same for you. Although demon god Anlin was a native, he had expended a lot of energy and couldn't recover in a short period of time. If he met a demon god with evil intentions, he would really be like a sheep walking into a tiger's mouth. If I want to find a safe place, it should be middle ground. That's the only safe place. He didn't have any impression of middle ground. Since demon god Anlin said so, it must be a safe place. Without another word, Lin Fei left with demon god Anlin. He used the greater teleportation technique. After figuring out the general location, Lin Fei's greater teleportation technique became much more accurate. For the next few days, finally, they arrived at a big world. This world was called the Middle Continent. As expected, experts are everywhere. Ordinary demon gods wouldn't dare to fight and kill in a place like this. Lin Fei had already used the Great Sky shrouding technique to conceal his aura. Naturally, he was not afraid of being recognized as an intruder. For Lin Fei, he needed to find a safe place to crack the ring and see if the 100 million resentment prayer beads were inside. If he was, he would have become rich overnight. This was what Lin Fei hoped for the most. Even if the king of 10,000 fiends returned, Lin Fei had plenty of methods to beat the other party into submission. Just like that, Lin Fei and demon god Anlin arrived at a big city in Middle Continent. This is the Middle Continent Chamber of Commerce. There are many secret rooms inside. It's very safe there. We can rest there for a period of time. Lin Fei liked this. Fiend Celestial Anlin also covered his face. Lin Fei followed beside him like a servant. They arrived at the Middle Continent Chamber of Commerce smoothly. Demon god Anlin's identity as a demon god was also very useful. They directly stayed in a secret room. Just like that, the two of them stayed in this secret room. After arriving at the Middle Continent Chamber of Commerce, Lin Fei realized that this Chamber of Commerce was quite capable. It was no different from when he was cultivating in other chambers of commerce. This place seemed to consume a lot of magic crystals. Not everyone could afford to stay here. We're finally safe now. Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. There was no other way. He used up too much energy, especially when he used the great teleportation technique. He nearly used up all the energy in his body. Moreover, in order to deal with the king of 10,000 fiends, he emptied all the energy in his body. He wouldn't be able to recover in an instant. That would take time. Only with enough time could he recover all the energy. The heaven and earth spiritual energy in Middle Continent was quite dense. Especially in the secret room, it was boosted. Lin Fei used half a month's time to recover all the accumulated energy in his body. He also saw that demon god Anlin was really shocked. His accumulation was really unbelievably thick. It only took him 3 days to recover. Lin Fei took out the king of 10,000 fiends ring. The seal on it was still there. This proved one thing. The king of 10,000 fiends didn't die. He should be living a good life. Of course, he wasn't in a bad mood. Previously, he was only a 4-star demon god. After this, it would be good if he was a 3-star demon god. Let me see how strong the power of his seal is. I hope that his strength is affected, so the power of the seal will be much weaker. Lin Fei was prepared to make his move, but demon god Anlin took out a talisman. Why is it so troublesome to break this thing? I can just use this seal-breaking talisman. It's very domineering. This was refined by a 6-star celestial god and is used to break seals. It's more than enough to do this. After a flash of light, it landed on the seal on the ring. Lin Fei heard it clearly. After a loud sound, the seal was cleared. It was so fast that even Lin Fei was surprised. You really get what you pay for. Now we can see what good things are inside. I hope the 100 million grudge thought beads are still there. Lin Fei smiled. I feel that my luck is quite good. It should be inside. When the time comes, I don't want anything other than these 100 million grudge thought beads. I'll give them all to you. Without you, I wouldn't have gotten this thing. Lin Fei took a deep breath. Then he poured out everything he had. He wanted to see if there were any treasures here. Demon god Anlin was also looking forward to it. After all, this was the king of 10,000 fiends. His collection should be very rich. Clatter, 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 sounds could be heard. A huge pile of things appeared in front of him, like a mountain. Ha 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 ha, looks like my luck is really good. The 100 million grudge thought beads are really here. Lin Fei saw the grudge thought beads at first glance. There seemed to be more than he expected. Demon god Enlin also saw something. Heavens, I didn't expect the lost sun scepter to be in his hands. I heard that this sun scepter can increase one's strength by 100%. Bookseller's website. Chapter 47:25. Demon god Anlin was very happy. He actually found the sun scepter. It was a powerful treasure. Back then, it fell into the hands of a great demon god. With his own strength and the boost from the sun scepter, he ruled an entire era. But then the sun scepter disappeared. Demon god Anlin didn't expect that the sun scepter would appear here. It would be kept by the king of 10,000 demons. Anyway, these things are useless to me. You can have them. Lin Fei smiled and said, he was only interested in the grudge thought beads. He wasn't interested in anything else. This scepter could boost one's strength. Once his strength was boosted, he would become even stronger. For example, if you were a 5-star demon god, you would be able to unleash the strength of a 6-star demon god after the boost. The higher your realm, the greater the strength you would be able to unleash. Are you really willing to give this sun scepter to me? It isn't something that one can come across all the time. There are only a few treasures like this in the entire world. Demon god Anlin was in disbelief. Lin Fei said casually, so what if it can boost my strength? To be honest, I don't lack treasures that can boost my strength. So this treasure and these things are all yours. I only want the grudge thought beads and faith beads. This guy probably doesn't have any faith beads and only has the grudge thought beads. Just like that, Lin Fei and demon god Anlin started to split the spoils. He didn't want anything else. He only wanted the grudge thought beads. Fiend Celestial Anlin was truly taken aback as he held the ring. He didn't expect to gain so much from this trip. Was this his fortuitous encounter? Demon god Anrin couldn't help but have a thought. At this moment, Lin Fei started to absorb the grudge thought beads. There were quite a lot of them. Originally, there were 100 million of them. After adding them up, it actually reached 130 million. In a short period of time, he gained another 30 million grudge thought beads. Without a doubt, it must be those unlucky bastards. Lin Fei was impressed by the king of 10,000 demon. He had dug such a big hole and obtained another 30 million resentment prayer beads in the blink of an eye. If he had a little more time, wouldn't he be able to obtain another 100 million resentment beads? It was very normal for someone like him to be hated by everyone. Lin Fei rejoiced at his absolute strength. With the help of his spiritual projection and demon god Anlin, he was able to destroy the king of 10,000 fiends' body. If it was any other place, perhaps there wouldn't be any way to deal with it. Unfortunately, due to a freak combination of factors, the king of 10,000 demons suffered a huge loss. It took a long time just to absorb 130 million grudge thought beads. Fortunately, Lin Fei didn't need to exert much effort at all. He just had to rely on leisurely leveling up the system. Lin Fei was also looking forward to it. How much hatred would he gain in the end? One had to know that this was a very large proportion. He received a total of 15. 3 billion hate points. This number surprised Lin Fei. It was beyond his imagination. He couldn't help but laugh out loud in his heart. I've really struck it rich this time. I've really struck it rich. I didn't expect to get 15. 3 billion hate points, all of a sudden. I've really gotten rich overnight. This feeling is really great. Lin Fei also knew that the more hatred he had, the greater his chances of improving his strength. At that time, whether the king of 10,000 demons came back or the demon god of this world targeted him, he had nothing to worry about. At that time, it was unknown who would be killed. At this time, Lin Fei really wanted to thank the king of 10,000 demons. He dug such a big hole. If it wasn't for him, where would he have found so many resentment thought beads? This guy would probably be so depressed that he would vomit blood. When the time came, he would definitely come to find him, so he had to repay him no matter what. That was to make one's own strength stronger. Lin Fei felt that this king of 10,000 demons was still of some use. At the very least, this guy would collect resentment thought beads. Anyway, this was a different world, so Lin Fei didn't care much about it. When he took this king of 10,000 demons, there would naturally be someone to collect resentment thought beads for him. This way, he would have a stable path to improve his strength. Who knew he might really be able to completely cultivate the 3,000 great Das. After being excited for a while, Lin Fei retracted his thoughts. He had to find some powerful great Das. In the past, he could only look at the ones ranked at the bottom. Lin Fei could finally look at the top 100 of the 3,000 great Das. Demon god Anlin was sitting quietly in the room next door. He also set up a layer formation and began to refine the sun scepter. After refining this thing, he was now at the level of a 2-star demon god. At that time, he would be able to easily explode with the power of a 3-star demon god. This was the so-called increase in strength. Of course, this was because demon god Anlin's realm was too low. If his realm was higher, the increase in the sun scepter would be greater and greater. In addition, this sun scepter could also release the light of the sun. This wasn't an ordinary attack, but a killer move. Wherever the light of the sun passed, it was definitely a killer move that mages couldn't bear. Lin Fei began to check the top 100 of the 3,000 great Das. Previously, Lin Fei only glanced at it. The price was too scary, so he naturally didn't think much of it. Otherwise, the more he looked at it, the less interested he would be. It was different now. After all, he had 15. 3 billion hate points on hand, so he could be considered rich. After all, he was a local tycoon. Finally, he had the right to choose. Great reincarnation technique. Ranked 100. 3 billion hate points. Just the last place made Lin Fei's eyes move slightly. Good Lord, this was only the bottom of the top 100, and he actually had 3 billion hate points. As expected, it wasn't something that could be earned at any time. With his 3 billion yuan, he could only buy something that was a little bit more expensive. But that was the truth. Even if it was at the very front, it was still extremely lethal. Great immobilization technique, ranked 99, 7 billion hate points. Great frost technique, ranked 98, 10 billion hate points. Slightly closer to the front, Lin Fei felt the price of these great Das, and he felt that there was no need to look at the ones in front. He really couldn't bear to do it with 3 billion. Lin Fei decided to choose a powerful one from the 90 to 100. He believed that the 3 billion hate points were enough. Fortunately, Lin Fei's judgment was still correct. Between 90 to 100, he really needed more than 10 billion hate points. Now, what Lin Fei lacked was a powerful killer move. But now, the top 100 of the 3,000 great Daos were naturally different. This was a truly great magical power and method. Great Five Thunders, ranked 95th, 13 billion hate points. Shuk Ju reading website. Chapter 47:26. The 3,000 great Taoists were just that casual. They didn't need any attributes at all. As long as they could master the popularity, they would naturally be able to master the 3,000 great Taoists. What Lin Fei needed now was a powerful one. Whether it was the great slicing technique or the great thunderclap technique, the power was much weaker. Especially in this alternate world, there were many treasures of these demon gods. So Lin Fei had to find a powerful attack. For example, this great frost technique attracted Lin Fei's attention. This kind of attack was also very strong. No matter how strong his body was, he wouldn't be able to withstand this kind of cold. The most important thing was that he needed to spend 13 billion hatred points to master it. It was ranked 95th in the 3,000 great Taoists. Lin Fei didn't hesitate too much and directly started this 3,000 great Taoists. This was also the first 100 great Taoists that he had mastered. At the same time, it also told Lin Fei one thing. That was, if he wanted to improve his strength faster, he also had to constantly earn this resentment bead. Without the resentment bead, it was nothing. Lin Fei quite agreed with this point. Once he mastered the great frost technique, Lin Fei felt that this 3,000 great Taoists was indeed terrifying. Traces of coldness were released from his body, and his entire person became a little different. Even the void seemed to have been frozen. Traces of coldness seeped through. It's too worth it. These 13 billion hatred points are really used in key places. If I had this great frost technique back then, how could the king of 10,000 demons have been able to withstand it? He would have been frozen directly. Lin Fei didn't try it out, but he could tell how powerful the great frost technique was. It was indeed a rare technique. Lin Fei didn't feel the slightest bit of heartache spending 13 billion hatred points at once. There were only 3 billion hatred points left on hand. Lin Fei didn't plan to use these 3 billion hatred points for the time being, because it was enough for him to master the great frost technique. Take advantage of this time. Lin Fei also looked back. After all, 3 billion hatred points could still be exchanged for some powerful great Taoists. Who told Lin Fei to be idle at this time? If only he had a short period of time, Demon God Anlin would definitely have some ideas. He might as well see what other 3,000 great Taoists were more suitable for him. The 3,000 great Taoists after the 100 were indeed much cheaper. It would also require billions of dollars, all the way to the 200th to 300th place. The hatred here was really about 3 or 4 billion. Lin Fei's 3 billion could be considered to be able to find some of the 3,000 great Taoists. This seemed to be quite suitable for him. Lin Fei looked all the way down. When he was ranked 315, he finally saw a great Tao which made his eyes light up. Great plunder technique. Ranked 315, 2 billion hatred. It would have been fine if it was anything else. However, this 3,000 great Tao was really to Lin Fei's liking. Before this, Lin Fei had used his spirit projection. In addition to his strength, he had heavily injured the king of 10,000 devils. He was extremely tired. He was also lucky that he didn't meet any other opponents. If he had met some powerful demon gods, he would have really become their captive. Lin Fei still had lingering fears about this matter. Even though Lin Fei had cultivated the infinite god body to the 8th level, he realized that the energy consumption was a little fast. It would take some time to recover, so when he saw this great plunder technique, Lin Fei was immediately energized. After looking through it, Lin Fei couldn't help but laugh in his heart. The heavens are really helping me. I didn't expect there to be such a great plunder technique that can plunder the spiritual energy of heaven and earth for my use. This 3,000 great Taoists didn't need to consume a lot of energy. It could be said to be very economical and also very unconventional. This made Lin Fei fall in love with her immediately. With this great plunder technique, It meant that he could instantly replenish the energy consumed. This was much faster than taking any divine pill or miraculous medicine. The infinite God body was a useless cultivation technique, but this great plunder technique was different. It could instantly replenish the absorption ability of the infinite God body. This was a perfect match. Lin Fei didn't hesitate and directly exchanged for it. 2 billion hatred points were spent just like that. The great plunder technique was also in his hands. Lin Fei only had 300 million hatred points left. I was a tycoon a while ago, but in the blink of an eye, I became a poor person again. Lin Fei shook his head, but he was still in a good mood. With the great frost technique and the great plunder technique, Lin Fei's attack and energy were instantly solved. At this time, Lin Fei was no longer afraid of any demon god. His foundation was strong to begin with. The limit of the power was not stated at all. It was purely self-exploration. In this aspect, it was indeed not very authentic, so he had to give it a bad review. At the same time, a group of people were heading in one direction, and this direction was the direction of the middle state. There were 8 people in this group, and all of them were demon god powerhouses. One of the demon gods was holding a compass in his hand as he headed in this direction. If there are no surprises, this invader should be hiding in the middle state. This guy is quite bold. The demon god who spoke was a 4-star demon god, and he was best at tracking people. This was one of the helpers that Mike had hired. It was the same for the few behind him. Mike couldn't take this lying down at all. When he returned, he told the Alliance. With this, there were immediately demon gods who were willing to attack together. That's quite bold. He actually dares to hide in the middle state. This is a bit difficult to deal with. It seems like this invader has a lot of treasures. He can even enter the middle state. I have never seen an invader enter the middle state. I don't like other things, but I like big fat sheep. This should be a big fat sheep. I can definitely eat a piece of meat after killing it. Mike also felt that this guy was quite wealthy. He really wanted to eat him alone, but he had no choice as he wasn't a match for him. This invader is indeed quite wealthy, and he has a lot of treasures. When the time comes to take him down, I don't want all the treasures. I only want him. I hope everyone can help me. The few demon gods' eyes lit up a lot. After all, an invader's foundation was quite solid, and they liked to chase and kill invaders. It wasn't easy for them to catch a big fat sheep, so they naturally wouldn't let it go easily. Mike, don't worry. We will definitely capture this person alive. With the few of us demon gods taking action, do you think he can escape? These demon god powerhouses were very confident. Taking down an invader wasn't something in the bag. It was the same even if he hid in the middle state. Bookseller's website. Chapter 47:27. The moment Mike entered Zhongzhou, he found Zhongzhou young master right away. The Central Plains was different from other places. Even if they were demon gods, they wouldn't dare to fight here. Mike didn't want that fellow to escape. He could only say that it was early. Then, he could only rely on this young master. Zhongzhou young master had a really high status. With the approval of this young master, it would be much more convenient and efficient for them to do anything. The moment Mike and the other demon gods came, Zhongzhou young master was moved. After all, these were 8 demon god experts, and not some small demon god. If it was any other demon god, then it was okay. These 8 demon gods came from the Alliance. Their influence couldn't be underestimated. Zhongzhou young master personally met the 8 demon gods and was really polite. Everyone gave each other face. When he heard that Mike wanted to capture an invader, Zhongzhou young master naturally agreed without hesitation. Well said, well said. I also don't like intruders. These intruders only know how to cause trouble in our macro world. I didn't expect that there are still people hiding in our central continent. This is absolutely not allowed. If it was someone else, Zhongzhou young master might have some thoughts. If it was an invader, then he wouldn't have any thoughts at all. Invaders were like rats on the streets that everyone wanted to kill. He didn't know why Mike had to chase this invader and why so many demon gods came. But no matter what, invaders had to be killed. Mike and the others heaved a sigh of relief. They took out another gift before turning around and leaving. Zhongzhou Young Master also arranged for people to capture the invader. With a trusted aide, his journey in Zhongzhou was smooth. Lin Fei was consolidating the Great Cold Technique and Great Plunder Technique. Although he didn't use these two techniques in a small area, Lin Fei knew how amazing these Daos were. Especially the Great Cold Technique, it was really terrifying. Someone is heading towards us. It should be our old friend Mike. He even brought help. Lin Fei's great danger detection wasn't a joke. He sensed it right away. He interrupted Demon God Anlin's cultivation. Demon God Anlin had been refining the Sun Scepter. The effects of the scepter were quite good. Now he could already unleash 70% of its power. The rest required time, and it was not something that could be completed in a short period of time. The increase in strength allowed Demon God Anlin to become a bona fide 3-star demon god. He was not far from the peak of 3-star. Upon hearing Lin Fei's words, Fiend Celestial Anlin wasn't surprised at all. His expression sank as well. I knew that Mike wouldn't take this lying down. I didn't expect him to find a demon god. He should have found someone from the Alliance. Lin Fei didn't expect Mike to arrive so quickly and even bring 7 demon gods with him. The 7 demon gods were not weak. A few of them were at the 3-star level. They were more than enough to deal with the 2 of them. Unfortunately, they came too late. Even if they come, it's useless. We can use them to test our strength. What do you think? Actually, I also want to practice on them. At the very least, this guy Mike has been showing off in front of me a lot. Today, I have to have a good spar with him and let him know that I am not so easy to provoke. Fiend Celestial Anlin had a lot of feelings for Mike. This fellow had come to pester her many times, but he was stronger than her. It was no longer the same as before. The Sun Scepter wasn't as bright as Jingguang, and it became really ordinary. If one wasn't familiar with it, one wouldn't be able to tell. This was a small way of hiding the Sun Scepter. Lin Fei and Demon God Anlin walked out. At the same time, after Mike gained the recognition of the Middle Sky Young Master, along with the help of others, he found out where Lin Fei and Demon God Anlin were right away. Actually, he found out from Demon God Anlin. After all, Demon God Anlin was a demon god, so it was much easier to find out. As for the invader, it was a little problematic. Her methods were really strong, and even if they used their methods, they weren't able to find her. After changing directions, they found her. When we see Demon God Anlin, there is no need to show any mercy. Just take her down. Mike didn't want to give Demon God Anlin any more chances. They should take advantage of this chance to take her down. They had a good reason. Demon God Anlin colluded with the invader to harm a demon god. Just this point alone was enough. The other 7 demon gods had a tacit understanding. No one knew better than them that Demon God Anlin was asking for it. No one could help her. No problem, it is a small matter. With so many of us attacking, do we need to be afraid of Demon God Anlin and that invader? I haven't killed an invader in a long time. This is a good opportunity to see how capable this fellow is. Mike suddenly stopped. There's no need for us to find them. That invader and Demon God Anlin are already here. They are quite bold. For an instant, Mike thought that the 2 of them had discovered them. Then he shook his head. That shouldn't be the case. Or rather, the 2 of them were very confident in their hiding methods. Tens of breaths later, a man and a woman appeared in front of them. If it wasn't Lin Fei and Demon God Anlin, who else could it be? Mike and the rest had stopped long ago. They met them just like that. A giant Jingguang landed. It covered this small area. The trusted aide of the Middle State Young Master floated out. Middle State Young Master is handling matters. His words were neither light nor heavy. Everyone's heart jolted, and they instantly retreated. In a short time, the surroundings became silent. Everyone in Middle State knew that this Middle State Young Master was said to be the most qualified person to take over as the Lord of Middle State. He had the most potential. No one dared to not give him face. Mike's gaze turned cold as he stared at Lin Fei. You didn't expect that we would meet again so soon, right? Demon God, Anlin, you too. Lin Fei smiled faintly. To be honest, I really didn't wish to meet you. Because if I did, I can only say that you are unlucky. Don't you think so? Shut up. Today, the two of you won't be able to escape. Demon God Anlin, you colluded with the invader to harm the Alliance's demon gods. Today, I will bring the two of you back to investigate. I will dig out all your accomplices. Mike, you are really amazing. You are even able to twist the truth. A cold intent appeared on Demon God Anlin's face. No, it was killing intent. Lin Fei was right. This fellow really did something. He actually twisted the truth and slandered her, saying that she colluded with the invader. That was a huge crime. Chapter 47:28. Lin Fei wasn't surprised at all. If Mike didn't play some tricks, it would be very abnormal. It could only be said that Mike's luck wasn't good. It just so happened that Demon God Anlin's strength increased greatly. Needless to say, Demon God Mike would definitely suffer a lot later. Who asked him to spout nonsense? I'll give you another chance now. Explain yourself clearly. Otherwise, don't blame me for not showing mercy later. Demon God Anlin was really infuriated. His rage points were rising. Mike didn't think much of it and snorted coldly. Demon God Anlin, you know very well that you colluded with the invaders. Do you still need me to explain? The huge storm rumbled loudly. Instantly, a huge storm appeared and enveloped Michael. In an instant, Demon God Mike sensed the danger. Streaks of light continued to attack him, and they were extremely powerful. He hurriedly slapped his palm and released a protective treasure. Even after he took out his protective treasures, they still made crackling noises. Fortunately, he finally had the time to open this master magic shield. But after opening it, he felt that Demon God Anlin's attack was too strong. It actually caused his master magic shield to continuously distort as if it would break at any time. Such a scene had never happened before. After all, Mike's strength had always been much higher than Demon God Anlin's. But he never expected that his master magic shield would actually be unable to withstand it at this time. Impossible. Impossible. I must be thinking too much. No matter how strong he is, he's still weaker than me. There was a loud bang. The master magic shield suddenly broke, and streams of light landed on his body. In the blink of an eye, 7 to 8 wounds were left on his body. The master magic shield was opened again. Mike was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. The 7 demon gods were also a little surprised at this time. They didn't expect Demon God Anlin to be so strong. It seemed like he had broken through, but he was just a 2-star demon god. The demon god Mike was a little embarrassed. Previously, Fiend Celestial Anlin wasn't his match, but now he couldn't beat him. He pointed at Lin Fei. He's the invader. You guys take him down first. I'll do it myself, God Fiend Anlin. The 7 demon gods also looked at Lin Fei. He looked ordinary and harmless. The 7 Fiend Celestials instantly attacked. Outside the big shield, there were many people who noticed this scene, and they were also a little surprised. Isn't that Fiend Celestial Anlin? How did it suddenly turn into collusion with the invaders? Why is Demon God Mike's strength inferior to Demon God Anlin's? This is a little unbearable. This intruder is quite calm. He's not panicking at all. There were quite a number of experts in the Middle Plains. Of course, there were also Fiend Celestials who were paying attention to the situation here. He was indeed very surprised by Demon God Anlin's increase in strength. They were both 2-star Fiend Celestials, but Demon God Mike was no match for his opponent. As for this invader, they couldn't tell what he was up to. From their point of view, with 7 demon gods dealing with this invader, it was as easy as grabbing a snail with 2 fingers. It was impossible for any accidents to occur. Whoosh! A vast expanse of white mist instantly enveloped this small area. All the attacks that were aimed at Lin Fei instantly came to a halt. The expressions of the 7 demon gods changed instantly. But in the blink of an eye, they realized that they couldn't move. The frost instantly enveloped them. Even the trusted aide of the Middle Plains young master who was standing by the side had a drastic change in expression. All the treasures on his body were activated, but he still couldn't withstand the penetration of the frost. Instantly he was sealed in ice. "I'm done here. You can slowly fight. It's all right, I'm not in a hurry." Lin Fei smiled at Demon God Anlin. At this moment, Demon God Anlin was shocked. Although he didn't know how Lin Fei had increased his strength this time, he never expected this guy to have such a trump card. He was able to seal 7 demon gods in ice in an instant. The strongest among them was a 4-star demon god. In the face of this frost, they actually couldn't put up any resistance at all. "Don't worry, I'll take care of this guy very soon. I haven't even used my ultimate trump card." Demon God Anlin heaved a sigh of relief. If even these 4-star demon gods couldn't withstand a single blow, then he had even more confidence in killing the 4-star demon god. The Fiend Celestial experts who had been observing in secret drew a cold gasp at that moment. They looked down on this invader, but at this moment they couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. This invader was too strong. He was able to seal 7 demon gods in an instant. Although these 7 demon gods didn't die, they had completely lost the ability to fight. How could this person be so strong? Could he be a 4-star celestial? This meant that he was an even stronger 4-star celestial. If it was the former, it would be fine, but if it was a 4-star celestial, then they would really be in big trouble. But now that they were facing this frost, they didn't have the courage to withstand it, even if it was their treasures. Something big had happened. No matter which demon god it was, the same thought popped up in their minds. Demon God Mike was also scared out of his wits. He had brought 7 experts with him, but in the blink of an eye, they were sealed in ice. Even he could feel the terrifying implications from far away. He knew that he was really in big trouble this time. What he couldn't believe the most was that Demon God Anlin was actually much stronger than him. Under the sky full of attacks, a wind blade broke through in an instant. Just as his master magic shield shattered, the wind blade instantly pierced through his body. Demon God Mike staggered and fell to the ground. Countless wind blades gathered and wrapped around Mike tightly. "Mike, you've lost. Tell me, should I kill you now? I'll let you suffer first." In the blink of an eye, Demon God Anlin seized the opportunity and severely injured Mike. It was already very difficult for Mike to resist, let alone when the other party seized the opportunity. "Demon God Anlin, how dare you? If you dare to kill me, all the demon gods in the Central Plains won't let you off. You're colluding with an invader." Demon God Mike's eyes darted around and he instantly roared. The expressions of the demon gods who were observing in secret changed. This demon god Mike was really despicable. He was trying to pull the demon gods of the Central Plains into the pot. Book House website, Chapter 47:29. Mike, who was captured, rolled his eyes and decided to attract the attention of the surrounding demon god experts. He hoped that they would make a move. When that happened, it would not be a small matter. A slight movement in one part would affect the rest. Zhongzhou would make a move too. Demon God Anlin threw a spell at Demon God Mike and completely immobilized him. He couldn't speak at all. Lin Fei did not care much. He knew that with the commotion he caused, people would come very soon. "It's okay. I'm here. Even if experts come, they will think twice. Anyway, we did not do anything to Zhongzhou. They were just too much." How would the hidden demon gods make a move? They really did not have the courage to do so. Didn't they see that these 4-star demon gods were frozen? Luckily, they were still alive. This meant that this young man did not go all out. Otherwise, these demon gods would have been turned to dust. In the current situation, the experts of the Central State Prefecture City would definitely appear. At that time, they felt that the situation would definitely end peacefully. At the same time, somewhere else, Zhongzhou young master was drinking tea leisurely. To Mike and the rest, coming to Zhongzhou City to capture someone was a small matter. It was really not a big deal. He applauded the capture of the intruder. Such a person had to be captured and killed. What's the commotion? Why do I feel a dangerous aura? Zhongzhou young master was extremely strong. He had also broken through to the demon god level. Although he was only a 1-star demon god, his potential was limitless. At this moment, he actually felt a dangerous aura. Eldest young master, something bad has happened. Mike and the others have been frozen. The eldest young master of the Central Prefecture also received the message. His expression changed immediately. He moved and instantly left the place. He used the rarely seen minor teleportation. Of course, this minor teleportation only moved within a small area. It consumed a lot of energy. But young master really could not sit still at this moment. Who would have thought that Mike and the others would actually cause such a huge commotion when they caught an intruder? Even they were frozen. He knew that he was in trouble. This was because he allowed this trip. Moreover, he had arranged for his trusted aide to come along. Now that something like this happened, it was definitely not a small matter. If his father blamed him, then he would have to bear a huge responsibility. The other brothers and sisters would not let go of such a good opportunity. At that time, his authority would be greatly reduced. He was getting closer and closer to the source of the chill. Before he even got close, he could already feel the chill. He immediately cast a spell on his body. Only then did the chill slow down, and he finally saw the figures on the street. It was Mike and the others. They were all sealed. Only Mike was fine, but it seemed that he had become a captive. As for his trusted subordinates, they were also directly frozen. The only thing that made him feel fortunate was that these people were not dead at all. At this moment, there were many people surrounding them. These were all magicians with full weapons, and each of them had a vigilant look on their faces. This was the magician group of the Central Province. However, they did not do anything. Even a 4-star demon god had been frozen. They did not dare to do anything. Now that the eldest young master had arrived, he could finally heave a sigh of relief. As long as the people present were not idiots, they could tell that this young man was at least a 4-level demon god. That was just a simple guess. If he was a 4-star demon god, then it would be really terrifying. Are you here to deal with us? If so, then I'm going to do something. I'll freeze all of you and end it once and for all. Lin Fei's indifferent voice floated over and landed directly in the ears of the eldest young master of the Central Province. Demon god Enlin also sent a voice transmission to him. He is the eldest young master of the Central Province. I heard that the Central Province is managed by him now. He can be considered the successor of the city lord and the most popular candidate. Of course, Lin Fei could guess that this person was not weak. Of course, his status was not low either, because he had an expert protecting him in the dark. He was a 4-star demon god. This kind of treatment was not something that just anyone could receive. The eldest young master of the Central Province was a little unhappy when he heard this. This was the Central Province city. Although this guy was quite strong, he was not to be trifled with. He had a 4-star expert by his side. Do you know that you are causing trouble in the Central Province city? This is not a small crime. Moreover, you are an invader. The eldest young master of the Central Province naturally knew that this matter had to be handled properly. As long as he handled it well, his status would be more recognized. In other words, it would not be a problem for him to take over the position of the city lord in the future. But if he didn't handle it well, then it would be different. The eldest young master of the Central Province directly threw out a piece of heavy news. This person was an invader. He had to get everyone to agree with him first. Of course, everyone present knew about it. After all, Mike had said at the start that this person was an invader. At the start, everyone did have the thought of fighting. But after the ice was released, they no longer had such thoughts. At least this invader was not as cruel as they imagined. Otherwise, the people present would not have such a good ending. Demon God Anlin sneered. I am Demon God Anlin. He is indeed an invader, but he has never done anything wrong to our alternate world. Can't we cooperate with invaders? As far as I know, there were many invaders who came and cooperated with us. Don't tell me that the eldest young master of the Central Province doesn't know about this. After taking down Mike, Demon God Anlin had certain level of confidence in his strength. Although he did not completely refine the Sun Scepter, the increase in strength was very obvious. Most importantly, Lin Fei's strength could already deal with a 4-star demon god. The eldest young master of the Central Province was even more embarrassed. Everyone in the Central Province city was polite to him. Even outside, everyone was polite and courteous to him because of his status in the Central Province. Now a 2-star demon god actually dared to talk to him like this. Young master, this young man's strength should be around that of a 4-star demon god. He must have used a large area of effect technique. I reckon he won't be able to use such a killing move a second time. Why don't you let me take him down? When the time comes, I can make eldest young master proud. An expert in the dark transmitted his voice over. Why shouldn't he take such a credit? It was also a good thing for the eldest young master. Chapter 4730. The Central State young master naturally knew how powerful the 4-star demon god behind him was. Moreover, he had a powerful demon god treasure. An ordinary 4-star demon god was not his match. He had even helped him get rid of many opponents in the dark. The eldest young master of the Central Province believed his words quite a lot. The Central State young master also believed in his judgment. A killer move like this was not something that just anyone could use. They were all frozen, but they did not seem to be heavily injured. As long as they could break free, they would only suffer some injuries. In that case, this person's strength might not necessarily be that strong, but that was another matter. Demon God Anlin, I don't care why you came to Central State. Now that you are with this intruder, I naturally have the right to suspect that you have other motives. The eldest young master of the Central Province snorted coldly. I'll give you a chance now. Both of you will follow me. As long as I find out that you don't have any thoughts about the Central Province, I'll let you leave. The demon gods in the dark shook their heads slightly. Some of them approved, while some of them disapproved. Those who approved naturally knew that since the Central State young master could handle all the matters in Central State City, he naturally could mobilize a lot of power. Taking down this invader and Fiend Celestial Anlin did not seem to be a difficult task. They didn't believe that he would be able to use the same trick again. 4-star demon god was indeed strong, but he was still lacking in Central State. If he was a 5-star demon god, it would be a different matter. Those who disapproved naturally felt that the Central State young master was messing around. The other party did not show his realm from the start, but they subconsciously felt that this young man was not easy to deal with. Naturally, they did not want the Central State young master to anger this fella. In the end, he would be the one who would be embarrassed. Subconsciously, they took a few more steps back. They did not want to be implicated when the city gate was in trouble. No one wanted to encounter such a thing. Of course, Lin Fei knew why this young master of the Central State would say such a thing. It was because of the 4-star demon god behind him. If that 4-star demon god hadn't observed him, he wouldn't have said such a thing. It could only be said that the eldest young master of the Central Prefecture had poor eyesight. Then let the expert behind you come out, lest he keeps staring at me. Doesn't he want to have a fight with me? Then let's have a fight. If he wins, I'll naturally go with you. But you have to think about it. If your helper loses, it won't be a small matter. My anger won't be appeased so easily. Lin Fei said lightly. Fiend Celestial Anlin finally understood why the middle ground young master would say such a thing. He actually had an expert behind him. Just like that, a figure emerged. The eldest young master of the Central State frowned slightly. He naturally understood what it meant. It was obvious that he wasn't afraid of him. The eldest young master of the Central Province felt a chill in his heart when he saw such a person. He felt that he had to capture this guy no matter what. If he didn't capture him, he would lose all his face. How dare you? The eldest young master isn't someone you can talk to. The old man behind him had a head full of white hair, but he was in high spirits. His face was ruddy. The moment he appeared, the demon gods in the dark sucked in a breath of cold air. They immediately recognized that this was the ferocious dark hell demon god. It wouldn't matter if he was an ordinary demon god, but the dark hell demon god was infamous. No one expected that this dark hell demon god would actually follow the eldest young master of the Central Province. With the dark hell demon god making a move, everyone felt that the intruder was in danger. After all, the dark hell demon god was a veteran 4-star demon god expert. Not everyone could withstand the attack of a 4-star demon god. Even Fiend Celestial Anlin's expression changed slightly. The other party's strength was really beyond imagination. Actually, I advise you not to make a move. You're already so old. If you really make a move, I'm afraid you won't be able to live for long. The other party's aura was indeed quite strong. 4-star demon god, and a pinnacle 4-star demon god at that. He was indeed powerful. In the Central Province, he could almost suppress all the experts. Just like Lin Fei previously, he really couldn't do anything to the other party. But now it was different. He really didn't take this matter to heart. Thunder Dragon Roar. A scepter appeared in the dark hell demon god's hand. He waved it. Countless thunderbolts surged out and turned into a thunder dragon that swooped down. Wherever it passed, the void was blasted apart by the thunderbolts. Even the people far away could feel the danger of the thunder dragon. This big magic made all the demon gods' expressions change. As expected of a 4-star demon god, this move of the dark hell demon god was already like a thunderbolt. No matter how strong the young man was, it would probably be difficult for him to use that big killer move. The dark hell demon god also had the same consideration. Since he had already made a move, it was even more impossible for him to test the waters. He directly attacked ruthlessly. He had to suppress him first. Hence, he used the Thunder Dragon Roar. Roar! When it was about to get close to the other party, the Thunder Dragon suddenly roared. There was a loud rumbling sound. The area where Lin Fei was instantly turned into an area of thunderbolts. This was the real power. Lin Fei didn't care much about it. Great cold ice technique. Wherever the white cold fog passed, it turned into a layer of frost. Wherever the white fog passed, it was quickly frozen. It was the same for the thunderbolts. The Thunder Dragon was also shrouded by the white mist in an instant. There was a loud rumbling sound. The Thunder Dragon continued to struggle. Wherever the white mist passed, the Thunder Dragon would be frozen solid. There was a cracking sound. There was a cracking sound. The entire Thunder Dragon was directly turned into pieces of fragments. Following the frost all the way, everywhere it passed was unbelievably fast. The eldest young master of Central State and the dark hell demon god's expression changed instantly. He had used a fire attribute treasure, but in front of this frost, it was instantly suppressed. I'm a 4-star demon god. How can I not withstand it? The dark hell demon god was instantly frozen. After this, he was much more unlucky than Mike and the others. There was a cracking sound. After a cold light flashed, half of the dark hell demon god's arm was cut off. However, at this moment, the dark hell demon god couldn't move. He could only watch helplessly as he lost an arm. The blood that was left behind was instantly frozen. Following that, another cold light appeared from the other side and cut off the other arm of the dark hell demon god. This time, the dark hell demon god was seriously injured. eldest young master of Central State, what do you think of my technique? Why don't I give you a few slashes too? Bookhouse website. Chapter 4731. The Dark Hell Demon God, a 4-star demon god, lost one of his arms just like that. Then his other arm was crippled. The Central Prefecture's young master was trembling. He knew that the Dark Hell Demon God was finished. The old man beside him had completely lost his ability to fight. Even if he recovered in the future, his strength would not be the same as before. No one knew how terrifying this young man's strength was. Just a layer of frost had suppressed the Dark Hell Demon God. How many experts in the entire Central Prefecture could be a match for this young man? Most importantly, the opponent's attack was a large-scale attack. If the shock waves spread out, who knew how many people would be killed or injured? Those demon gods were glad that they did not attack. Otherwise, they would have suffered a great loss of strength. You're dead. This is Central Prefecture. You injured my people. Don't even think about leaving Central Prefecture. At this moment, the eldest young master of the Central Province was completely mad. Of course, his pupils were filled with fear and uneasiness. He was very sure that this young man's strength had definitely reached the level of a 5-star demon god. There was no expert in Central Prefecture who could suppress him. It was especially so for the other party's great Arctic frost art. It was simply too terrifying. Once it was released, the place where the chill passed was said to be invincible. If they really fought in Central Prefecture City, the entire Central Prefecture would probably be turned into a city of ice. Mike, who was still hoping that the Central Prefecture's young master could help him, turned even paler now. He was already very pale, but now he knew that he had made a huge mistake. No matter what happened, the Central Prefecture's young master would never let him off. The Dark Hell Demon God was originally a peak 4-star demon god. Now that 2 of his arms were lost, his strength was completely gone. His lifespan would also be greatly affected. It would be abnormal if the Central Prefecture's young master did not bear a grudge against him. Just like now, his cold eyes were filled with endless hatred. He knew that he had made a huge mistake this time. If he had known, he would not have provoked him. He would not have dealt with this guy, called Lin Fei. Who could have imagined that this intruder would be so strong? When he had fought with him, he had thought that the other party's strength was not much higher than his, only 1/10 of his own. But now, it seemed that the other party was simply toying with him. The fact that he was able to escape was because the other party was being lenient. But in the end, he didn't know what was good for him and brought an expert with him, causing such a huge commotion. He didn't even know how he was going to clean up the mess. You're really stubborn. Lin Fei reached out his hand and grabbed the air. The boundless frost turned into ice beads, which landed on the eldest master of the Middle Continent. Every time a strike landed on his body, his expression would instantly change. Just like that, a bloody hole was pierced through and the chill froze the wound. There was no way for him to recover in a short period of time. What followed was endless pain that enveloped his entire body and magnified infinitely. Slowly appreciate my gift to you. You should be glad that you're still alive. The voice, which was neither light nor heavy, fell directly on the heart of the eldest young master of the Central Province, like the voice of a devil. Every strike magnified the pain he felt. Play. His entire body began to twist rapidly. This kind of distortion was something he had never experienced before. Other than pain, there was more pain. What was more terrifying was that he actually couldn't make a sound. Lin Fei, you can't kill this guy. If you kill him, there will be huge trouble. The master of the Central Province will definitely come after you. Demonic God Anlin was worried that Lin Fei wouldn't be able to control himself and kill the eldest young master of the Central Province. Don't worry, I'm not that kind of person. Killing him will only dirty my hands. Moreover, he caused such a huge commotion. I reckon that even if the master of the Central Province comes, he won't have a good time. His brothers and sisters will definitely hit him when he's down. Actually, demonic god Anlin also knew this point. Anyway, the eldest young master of the central province was really embarrassed this time. It was hard to say whether he could continue to sit on this position. The master of the central province is here. He came faster than I expected. An illusory figure instantly descended from the sky. Everyone could feel the strength of the demonic god. The person who descended was a middle-aged man. He was the master of the central province, and he was also a 5-star demonic god. Thank you for being merciful and sparing my son. He was in the wrong in this matter. I wonder if you could come to my mansion for a cup of tea and sit with me so that I, as the host, can do my part as the host. The forthright voice spread out in an instant. The eldest young master of the central province was originally quite excited when he heard this voice. However, after hearing this, he knew that he was really finished this time. His father actually said such words. Clearly, his performance this time had really disappointed his father. Although it was just an illusory figure, Lin Fei knew better than anyone that the master of the central province did not have any killing intent or anger. His words and actions were still relatively fair. I have also admired the master of the central province for a long time. Since there is such an opportunity, let's sit down and have a cup of tea together and chat. Actually, I don't really care about this kid's matter. Otherwise, he wouldn't be standing here unscathed. The surrounding demonic gods were all very surprised. Since the master of the central province did not make a move, it could be seen that the other party really had the strength of a 5-star demonic god. Because the master of the central province was also a 5-star demonic god. If they fought, there was no chance of winning at all and both sides would suffer. Of course, the city of the central province would suffer the most. Wherever the terrifying frost passed, no one could withstand it. None of the fiend celestials present were willing to engage in a fight. If they really fought, they would suffer heavy losses. Although they could survive, their families did not have the means to defend themselves. Then I will welcome your excellency with respect. As for my son, let him stay outside and let him reflect on himself. The illusory figure slowly dissipated, and the eldest young master of the central province knew that he had really made a big mistake this time. If he had known this would happen, he would not have come. He actually jumped into such a big pit like a fool. Now he could not even climb out of it, even if he wanted to. You see, what I said before was right. Don't interfere, don't interfere. Now you regret it, right? Unfortunately, there is no medicine for regret in this world. Otherwise, I would sell you another bottle. Lin Fei smiled and left. The eldest young master of the central province could only watch. At the same time, he also knew that his father was really angry. Letting him stay here was a very severe punishment. Chapter 4732. The master of Central Prefecture was cultivating, but he couldn't handle the power of the great Arctic frost technique. He woke up with a start. After waking up, the master of Central Prefecture found out about the situation in Central Prefecture City. He was very disappointed with his eldest son's performance. Couldn't he see that this person was strong? Although the Central Prefecture master had yet to see through the other party's cultivation level, he was certain that the other party had the strength of a 5-star demon god. 5-star demon god, and so young he was most likely an old monster. Even the master of Central Prefecture didn't want to offend such a person. As the saying goes, there is always someone better than you. Even if the other party was an invader, the Central Province lord didn't have the mood to deal with him. Fortunately, the other party didn't fight in the Central Province. If they fought in the Central Province, none of the experts in the entire city would be able to withstand the other party's means. This person was extremely dangerous and terrifying. That was why he said those words earlier. Not long after, Lin Fei and demon god Anlin arrived at the residence of the master of Central Prefecture. This was a very inconspicuous palace. In the entire Central Prefecture city, there were many such palaces. Lin Fei thought that this guy would live in the city, lord residence. He didn't expect him to live in another palace. The surroundings were also very quiet. "Welcome to my humble place. Your presence brings light to my humble dwelling." At this moment, a figure walked out. It was none other than the master of Central Prefecture. He was smiling. Of course, he recognized demon god Anlin. However, he didn't recognize the person beside him. No matter what, the other party didn't fight here. He gave the master of Central Prefecture some face. Lin Fei smiled. "Actually, I'm the one who disturbed Central Prefecture. However, I had no choice. There are always people who think they're strong and want to fight. I had no choice but to fight." Lin Fei wasn't interested in fighting a 5-star demon god, although his great Arctic frost technique was very strong. If they really fought, the other party wouldn't have any advantage. However, if that happened, the people from the outside world would definitely target him. A 5-star demon god was already so arrogant. If a 6-star demon god or a 7-star demon god were to appear, no one would be able to guarantee the outcome. There was no harm in keeping a low profile. Why would I mind? It's my son who's disappointing. I've already prepared a banquet. Have a taste of my local dishes first. Ordinary people don't have the chance to eat them. At this moment, the master of the Central Prefecture was extremely enthusiastic. Demon god Anlin also made his way here. He never expected that he would come to Zhongzhou City one day. He even met the lord of the Central Prefecture. Of course, he knew the master of the Central Prefecture very well. He could be considered a very powerful person. The master of the Central Prefecture was a 5-star demon god, and he was very strong. It was said that he had been in seclusion to break through to the 6-star demon god realm. It was simply too difficult to advance from 5 stars to 6 stars. God knew how many heroes had stumbled before. Even so, a 5-star Fian celestial strength was enough to dominate the entire great world. Only then would Zhongzhou become a safe place. In addition, with the support of the Central Prefecture City's array formation, the strength of the master of the Central Prefecture would increase by a lot. Unexpectedly, the master of the Central Prefecture didn't have any intention of making a move. Instead, he calmly invited the other party to take a seat. After the two of them entered, they sat down at the stone table in the courtyard. At this moment, the stone table was already filled with dishes. These dishes were all quite precious. At least, demon god Anlin had an appetite after taking a look at them. He also knew what these things were. The master of the Central Prefecture was indeed very sincere. Even some of these things might not be able to be bought even with demonic crystals. Lin Fei wasn't worried that the other party would do anything to him. He swaggered and ate. Seeing that Lin Fei was so relaxed, demon god Anlin also tasted the food. It was very tasty and made him enjoy it so much that he forgot to leave. "You're really confident. Aren't you afraid that I'll poison these things? When that happens, it will be difficult for you to leave this place." Lin Fei smiled faintly. "Actually, this isn't a big deal at all. Moreover, a person like you wouldn't do something like this, so it's completely useless. If you anger me, the entire Central State City will turn into a city of ice and snow." Lin Fei really wasn't bragging. When he used the Great Cold Ice technique, it was only limited to a certain area. Once it expanded, the entire Central Prefecture wouldn't be able to escape. Any smart person would know what to do. The master of the Central Prefecture was obviously a smart person. Naturally, he knew that what the other party said was true. If they really fought, the Central Prefecture would be the first to bear the brunt. At that time, most of the people would be instantly killed. He, as the master of the Central Prefecture, would be completely defeated. My son did something wrong. I will give him a corresponding punishment. Therefore, I've decided to strip him of his eldest young master title. I'll send him to a bitter and cold place and let him sit there for 50 years. The lord of the Central Prefecture's words made the eldest young master of the Central Prefecture fall from the clouds to the dust. In his heart, demon god Anlin admired the decisiveness of the middle ground lord. He directly knocked the eldest young master down. The bitter and cold place wasn't ordinary. Anyone who went to the bitter and cold place wouldn't have an easy life. Moreover, it would be 50 years. Lin Fei didn't really care about this. He could do whatever he wanted to. After all, it was certain that the eldest young master wouldn't have a good ending. These are all children's matters. I really didn't take it to heart. Lin Fei said casually, "Now that you've eaten your food, just tell me what you want. I'm actually not that difficult to get along with. Just look at Demon God Anlin." From start to finish, Lin Fei didn't think that the master of the Central Prefecture would plead for his son, or take revenge for his son. You're definitely thinking too much. None of the demon gods would think that way, especially after knowing that he could unleash the strength of a 5-star demon god. He would naturally retract his thoughts. Lin Fei was also very mysterious. He came here as an invader and he was so strong. Instantly, he stood at the top of the world. You're really a straightforward person. I wonder if you're interested in the tomb of a 10-star demon god? The master of the Central Prefecture's voice wasn't loud. However, his words caused Lin Fei's heart to tremble slightly. 10-star demon god. This wasn't a simple existence. This was definitely a peak existence. A true super expert. This realm was not something that just anyone could cultivate to. The possibility was minuscule. Even 1 in 10,000 was far from this. Chapter 47:33. The ancient tomb of a 10-star demon god really tempted Lin Fei. He knew that a 10-star demon god was considered very powerful in this alternate world and was considered a top-notch existence. For example, the ones that Lin Fei encountered now were all around 3-star and 4-star. The most powerful one was the Demon King. The rest could only stand aside. Now, the ancient tomb of a 10-star demon god was indeed different. I'm quite curious. Why did you look for me? After all, I'm considered an intruder. Aren't you afraid that I'll give you a fierce blow at a critical moment? Lin Fei smiled faintly. Demon God Anlin sat at the side and did not say anything. He decided to give all the authority to Lin Fei. After all, if not for Lin Fei, he would not have gotten the Sun Scepter and would not have been able to defeat Demon God Mike so easily. He heaved a long sigh of relief. The Central Prefecture, Lord, clapped his hands. Because you are worthy enough for me to rope you in. Your strength should not be weak. You were able to freeze so many demon gods in one breath, including a 4-star demon god. If I'm not wrong, you should be a 5-star demon god, or even at the peak. I don't know if I'm right. Of course, you can also be a 6-star demon god. Actually, there was no need to explain. Lin Fei also knew why the Central Prefecture, Lord, looked for him. It was because he was powerful. After all, the strength of a 5-star demon god was rare. The Central Prefecture, Lord himself, was only a 5-star demon god. This was already considered very powerful. With this realm and this strength, it was indeed possible for him to explore the ancient tomb of a 10-star demon god. Since the Central Prefecture, Lord, thinks so highly of me, and I'm very interested in the ancient tomb of a 10-star demon god, I'll make a trip there. I don't know when I'll go, so I can be prepared. Lin Fei naturally came to this alternate world to gain strength, and this time he could be considered to have found the right path. There should be many top-grade treasures in the ancient tomb of a 10-star demon god. Therefore, Lin Fei planned to try his luck. 3 months. Lin Fei did not forget to help Fiend Celestial Anlin kill a 4-star Fiend Celestial. That's quite a lot of time. We'll come back in 3 months. Lin Fei was also very straightforward. The Central Prefecture, Lord, also liked the temper of this intruder. It was best to get straight to the point. Then, I will wait for you in 3 months. You don't have to worry about the Alliance finding trouble with you. I will personally inform the Alliance, and I believe they will give me some face. The Central Prefecture, Lord, naturally took a fancy to the strength of this invader. Moreover, it was not uncommon for people on their side to cooperate with invaders. Furthermore, the person in front of him was very powerful. Otherwise, where else could he find a 5-star demon god? Then I'll accept this favor. Lin Fei and demon god Anlin left Central Content City just like that. No one followed him. Lin Fei then used the greater teleportation technique to shake off his tracks. Even if someone wanted to follow them, they could only watch helplessly. After 3 consecutive teleportations, Lin Fei finally came to a stop. At this moment, even if an expert wanted to chase after them, it would be impossible. We are very safe now. Even if someone wanted to follow us, they wouldn't be able to. Demon god Anlin naturally knew the reason why Lin Fei brought him out. It was to kill that 4-star Fiend Celestial. I really have to thank you for this trip. Without you, I wouldn't even dare to think about killing that 4-star Fiend Celestial. Now that demon god Anlin had the Sun Scepter, his strength had increased by a huge amount. However, he still needed some time to kill that 4-star Fiend Celestial. She couldn't wait any longer. She had to take down that 4-star Fiend Celestial. You have helped me so much. Helping you is just a small matter. Confirm the location first. Let's go find that 4-star Fiend Celestial. After half a month, demon god Anlin and Lin Fei finally arrived at a small world. Once they entered the small world, Lin Fei sensed the presence of a 4-star Fiend Celestial. He knew that this 4-star Fiend Celestial was demon god Anlin's enemy. We are quite lucky. Your enemy really hasn't left the small world. This way, we don't have to search everywhere. This world was very big. Finding a 4-star Fiend Celestial was not an easy task. Now that they had not wasted their time, demon god Anlin's face was filled with hatred. This time, it would be hard for him to escape. Lin Fei did not ask demon god Anlin why he had to kill this 4-star Fiend Celestial. There was no need to know. He only needed to understand this matter. This 4-star Fiend Celestial was dead meat. Demon god Xiao Lai was a peak 4-star Fiend Celestial. Just recently, the Alliance had extended an olive branch to him. As long as he was willing to join the Alliance, they would naturally give him a high position. They would even provide him with some support. Therefore, demon god Xiao Lai was still considering whether to agree. After all, the benefits were obvious. In the Great World, the Alliance, which was also known as the Demon Gods Alliance, was quite influential. Everyone had to give them some face. There were quite a lot of Fiend Celestials who wanted to join. However, there were not many high-ranking Fiend Celestials. It was also not easy for them to join. This required a huge price. This time, the people from the Alliance looked for demon god Xiao Lai. Brother Xiao Lai, we are sincere this time. As long as you join our Alliance, you will be a high-level elder and have the right to vote. This time, the person who came to persuade the Fiend Celestial was a high-level elder in the Alliance. He was called Demon God East Cloud. Demon God East Cloud felt that the chances of success were quite high. As long as they could recruit this demon god Xiao Lai, their Alliance would have another peak 4-star Fiend Celestial. When the resources came, he would become a 4-star Fiend Celestial. The strength of the Alliance would increase by a huge amount. This was the use of a top-notch expert. There was a loud sound. In an instant, the huge palace began to shake violently. Demon God Xia Lai's expression changed. He followed Demon God East Cloud out of the palace. It was the same for Demon God East Cloud. Just as the two of them left the palace, in an instant, the palace was reduced to rubble. Countless figures rushed out from the rubble. All of them were furious. Clearly, they did not understand what had just happened. Which Fiend Celestial played such a big joke on me? Can you show yourself and let me know how I have offended you? Demon God Xia Lai was quite angry. Someone had actually attacked him in his small world and even destroyed his palace. This was simply not giving him any face. Demon God Xiao Lai, you are really thick-skinned. So what if I destroyed your palace? Today I want your life. Chapter 4734. A cold voice came from the sky. Demonic god Xia Lai also rushed out. At first glance, he saw the figure in the sky, and his expression involuntarily changed. Demonic god Anlin, you actually dared to come here. You are truly audacious. Aren't you afraid that you won't be able to escape this time? I didn't capture you last time because someone told me. I didn't expect you to dare come again. It seems you won't repent until you see your coffin. Demonic god Xia Lai naturally knew who this demonic god Anlin was. If not for someone informing him, he would have captured Anlin long ago. There was no need for him to remain outside. Of course, demonic god Xia Lai didn't care about this little bit of strength. It would be easy for him to deal with him, but he never expected that demonic god Anlin would actually come this time. From the looks of it, he even brought a helper. That was in the past. Now I'm here again. This time I'll take your life. I'll definitely avenge my parents, even if you are a 4-star demonic god. Demonic god Xia Lai's gaze turned extremely cold. At the same time, demonic god East Cloud also flew out. He also recognized this demonic god Anlin. After all, demonic god Anlin's looks were top-notch. Naturally, many demonic gods took a fancy to him, but so far, no demonic god could take him down. Demonic god Anlin, don't you think you're going overboard by coming to look for demonic god Xia Lai? He has already spared your life, yet you still dare to come? Do you think he won't dare to attack you? Demonic god East Cloud was somewhat furious. He had come to recruit demonic god Xia Lai and was about to succeed. But in the end, this scene caused his previous efforts to go to waste. Who knew if demonic god Xia Lai would change his mind? This matter infuriated demonic god East Cloud. Is it all because of this young man you brought? Demonic god Xia Lai laughed heartily. Naturally, he didn't think much of the other party. Lin Fei smiled faintly. This is the 4-star demonic god you want to kill. As expected, his strength is not bad. He should have reached the peak of the 4-star demon god. If he is given another few decades or 100 years, he might become a 5-star demon god. Fiend Celestial Anlin nodded. That's right, it's Fiend Celestial Xia Lai. He was the one who killed my parents. I have never forgotten this grudge. Now I can finally avenge my parents. Previously, Lin Fei was still wondering what kind of grudge could make Fiend Celestial Anlin be so fixated on an unfamiliar matter. So it was this kind of thing. He really couldn't let it go. Don't worry, I'll take down a 4-star demon god for you. When the time comes, you can deal with him however you want. I guarantee that he'll know what it feels like to live a life worse than death. Both Devil God Summer Lai and Devil God East Cloud began laughing. The former naturally didn't care. He also knew that Fiend Celestial Anlin's strength was only at the 2-star level. It was too difficult for him to deal with him. He was not an ordinary peak 4-star. Devil God East Cloud found it funny. This Devil God Anlin really didn't know his own limits. Where did he find this helper? His tone was just too outrageous. Did he really think that Fiend Celestial Xia Lai was so easy to deal with? If Fiend Celestial Xia Lai was so easy to deal with, he wouldn't have come to rope him in. Come. I'll wait for you here. Let's see how the helper you found is like. Let's see if he can withstand the might of my attack. Fiend Celestial Xia Lai laughed loudly once again. He curled his finger, his eyes filled with indifference. Then I'll leave it to you. Fiend Celestial Anlin took a deep breath. The day he was looking forward to was about to arrive. Fiend Celestial Anlin had been waiting for this day for a long time. It was finally here. No matter how strong Fiend Celestial Xia Lai was, it was impossible for him to withstand Lin Fei's attack. Even a 4-star demon god was frozen. One could imagine how terrifying Lin Fei's strength was. Great frost art. Lin Fei didn't want to waste any more time. He immediately used Great Frost Art. He directly unleashed 70% of its might. This was no simple feat. The entire ruins were instantly covered in frost. The ruins turned into ice. The onlookers were also frozen in an instant. Fiend Celestial Xia Lai and Fiend Celestial East Cloud's expressions changed, because they were instantly enveloped in frost. The terrifying power seeped into their bodies. Even their treasures couldn't withstand it. Lin Fei extended his hand and grabbed. Fiend Celestial Xia Lai directly flew over. His entire body was frozen. He couldn't withstand 70% of Lin Fei's power at all. There was a loud rumble. Fiend Celestial Xia Lai, who was trapped, actually broke free. His face turned deathly pale. I didn't expect you to find such a helper. It's a pity that I have a powerful treasure. Just a little more, and you really succeeded. The moment he said that, in an instant, an endless amount of frost surged over. Once again, it enveloped Fiend Celestial Xia Lai. This time, Fiend Celestial Xia Lai's entire face turned deathly pale. This time, even the aura on his body had become extremely weak. Lin Fei smiled faintly. Do you really think you're awesome just because you broke free from my technique? I can easily deal with you. I just wanted to make you happy. How about it? Are you feeling extremely uncomfortable now? How could the great frost art, which he had spent billions of hatred points, be a joke? Coupled with Lin Fei's terrifying accumulation, the power unleashed was definitely top-notch. Fiend Celestial East Cloud couldn't move at all. His heart was filled with fear. Both of them were experts. In this world, they were considered to be among the top. Although they couldn't reach the top, they could still be considered first-rate experts. But now they were frozen by a young man. Fiend Celestial Xia Lai was strong to begin with, but he couldn't even withstand the power of this young man and was directly frozen. I know you're Fiend Celestial East Cloud. If you still want to help Fiend Celestial Xia Lai vent his anger, then just say it. Fiend Celestial Anlin, who also knew Fiend Celestial East Cloud, said coldly, Then I'll be more than happy to let you accompany him. How could Fiend Celestial East Cloud have such a thought? Wasn't that courting death? Anyone with a discerning eye could see that Fiend Celestial Xia Lai was beyond saving. Such a great expert had to at least have the strength of a 5-star Fiend Celestial. It was truly unknown where Fiend Celestial Anlin found him. Their factions also had 5-star Fiend Celestials, but they definitely wouldn't easily deal with a 5-star Fiend Celestial. The ice on Fiend Celestial East Cloud's body instantly melted. Even so, Fiend Celestial East Cloud was injured. I don't care about this matter anymore. I won't interfere either. Killing one's parents is indeed an irreconcilable hatred. I know that too. Fiend Celestial East Cloud immediately changed his tone. He wanted to leave his life behind first. Bookseller's website. Chapter 4735. How could demonic god East Cloud dare to care about this? At this moment, Xia Lai's life and death had nothing to do with him. He would do whatever he could. He could not afford to offend a 5-star demonic god. The one who was most shocked was none other than demonic god Xia Lai. He never expected that a peak 4-star demonic god like him would actually encounter a 5-star demonic god. Most importantly, this 5-star demon god strength was simply too powerful. He could freeze him with a single ice technique. Just like now, his entire body was filled with all sorts of chills that were wantonly wreaking havoc. No matter how powerful he was, he could not withstand it at all. Without a doubt, he had suffered a crushing defeat. And at this moment, Xia Lai could not say a single word. He could only watch as he was taken away. Lin Fei brought demonic god Anlin along with him and used the great teleportation technique. They left this place. They found a safe place. It was also an uninhabited small world. They did not need to worry about people chasing them. Under normal circumstances, as long as there was something wrong with their brains, they would not come here. A 5-star demonic god was powerful enough to shake an entire sect or even exterminate it. A 5-star demonic god could basically do whatever they wanted in the alternate world. Just look at the Central Prefecture Lord. He even specially invited Lin Fei to explore the tomb of a 10-star demonic god. This should be the safest place. You can rest assured. You can deal with this demonic god Xia, lie however you want. After saying that, Lin Fei headed outside. He gave demonic god Enlin sufficient time and space. At this moment, demonic god Xia Lai's strength had already been completely crippled by Lin Fei. He was even frozen by the great cold technique. Demonic god Anlin, please spare me. I really did not want to harm your parents. I was forced to do so. Spare me, spare me. I will listen to everything you say. I am even willing to hand over my entire fortune to you. Lin Fei did not look. He did not listen. He really gave demonic god Anlin sufficient time and space. From the moment he landed in Lin Fei's hands, demonic god Xia Lai was destined to die. It was just a matter of dying earlier or later. It was such a small difference. The whole process lasted for 5 days. During these 5 days, Xia Lai's miserable cries rang out incessantly. It could be said that it was tragic to the bones. Of course, this also contributed a lot of hatred for Lin Fei. He really had to thank the pinnacle 4-star demon god, Xia Lai. He didn't expect that he would be able to give him such a big gift before he died. This also made Lin Fei realize something. That was the king of 10,000 demons. No wonder he had to set up such a huge trap. As expected, this was the best way to gain aggro. Lin Fei wouldn't be able to do such a thing. This made him even more interested in the king of 10,000 devils. It was a pity that he didn't know where that guy had escaped to. If he met him again, he definitely wouldn't let him have such an easy time. The 6th day, devil god Anlin had finally dealt with devil god Xia Lai. Xia Lai also contributed a total of 5 million hatred points to Lin Fei. His hatred was quite high. If he was tortured for a period of time, it wouldn't be a problem to break through 10 million. After dealing with devil god Xia Lai, devil god Anlin's expression changed. There was a real smile on his face. Thank you, Lin Fei. You helped me accomplish something that I would never be able to accomplish in my entire life. It's just a small matter. It's not worth mentioning. Moreover, you have helped me a lot. Otherwise, my life might not be better than yours. Lin Fei really had to thank devil god Anlin. If it wasn't for her, it would have been impossible for him to gain so much hatred. Not to mention learning the great frost technique. Thus, his strength would improve by leaps and bounds. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to take revenge. This thing is useless in my hands. I'll give it to you. When you go to the ancient tomb of the 10-star demon god, it might come in handy. Devil god Anlin took out a pearl. This bead was the body-securing bead from before. However, the current body-securing pearl looked ordinary. If Lin Fei hadn't seen how powerful it was, he wouldn't have believed it. This thing is too valuable. You should keep it for yourself. It will be of great use at critical moments. Of course, Lin Fei rejected it. This body-securing pearl was no ordinary treasure. It could even freeze the king of 10,000 demons. One could imagine how powerful it was. Devil god Anlin shook his head. This thing is rather useless to me. However, in your hands, it's different. You will definitely be able to unleash greater power. You don't have to tell me anymore. If you don't leave this gift behind, I'll feel bad. Since he said that, Lin Fei didn't say anything else. He reached out and took it. He refined it. After refining it, he realized that this body-securing pearl was indeed quite different. There was actually a small grotto heaven world inside. According to devil god Anlin, as long as he poured energy into it and filled it up, he would be able to activate this body-securing pearl. As long as he provided more energy, he would be able to unleash more power, and the duration would be longer as well, unlike her. Then I shall accept it, right? Are you really not planning on following me to take a look at the tomb of the 10-star demon god? Lin Fei asked. Fiend Celestial Anlin shook his head. Let's forget about this matter. If a little fellow like me were to go to such a place, I wouldn't even know when I would die. It's better for me to obediently stay outside. As for you, you are different. Your means are more powerful than mine. You are most suitable to explore such places. Actually, that was really the case. Even if Fiend Celestial Anlin's strength had increased by quite a bit, it was impossible for him to enter that place without encountering danger. Lin Fei was different. Not only was his physical body strong, but even his defense was different. Not to mention his great chill technique. Okay, once I come out, I will find you. He escorted demon god Anlin back to his small world. Then he turned around and left. Speaking of which, the Central Prefecture Lord's ability was quite good. He really suppressed the Alliance's matter. Along the way, Lin Fei really didn't face any danger and didn't face any problems. He easily came to Central Continent. Brother Lin, I didn't expect you to come so quickly. Why don't I see Demon God Anlin? Aren't you going? Lin Fei came. The Central Continent head personally came out to welcome him. He was a little surprised that he didn't see Demon God Anlin. She said that such a place is suitable for experts. As a small expert, she won't join in. The sovereign of the Central Prefecture laughed out loud. That was really the case. What a waste. Bookhouse website, Chapter 4736. The Central Prefecture Lord was also polite. After all, Fiend Celestial Anlin's strength was only SO. In fact, there was no point in going. He really hoped that the person who had come would be the invader, Lin Fei. Now that Lin Fei was here, it couldn't be better. He finally had a 5-star expert joining him. That night, the master of Central Prefecture hosted banquet to welcome Lin Fei. He was very sincere and even arranged a quiet courtyard for Lin Fei. Just like that, Lin Fei stayed here temporarily. Only 3 days had passed since then. The master of Central Prefecture came again. I wonder if Brother Lin is ready? We are preparing to head there. That place is quite far away. Lin Fei was already ready. What's there to prepare? Fortune is in the hands of the heavens. We just have to put our lives on the line. The master of Central Prefecture was slightly stunned. He had to admit that these words were quite well said. That's true. The ancient tomb of a 10-star demon god is indeed very dangerous. If we want to get the good stuff, we have to take the risk. Just like that, Lin Fei and the master of Central Prefecture left Central Prefecture. Originally, Lin Fei thought that the master of Central Prefecture would bring more demon gods. He didn't expect that there would only be the 2 of them. On second thought, he understood. It wasn't easy to find a 5-star demon god. It was already not easy for the master of Central Prefecture to find one. Of course, Lin Fei didn't think that the master of Central Prefecture would only find him a 5-star demon god. He reckoned that there would be other helpers and they shouldn't be here. In fact, that was really the case. Halfway through the journey, an old man joined them. This old man wasn't young, and he already had a deathly aura around him. This meant that this old man wouldn't live for long. Even so, this old man was still a powerful 5-star demon god. This is Gu Fei, a 5-star demon god. This is Lin Fei, also a 5-star demon god. The master of the Central Prefecture also started to introduce it. I know you. You're that invader Lin Fei who caused quite a ruckus. I didn't expect you to be so strong. However, compared to the other invaders, you seem to have a much better temper. If those invaders were as good-tempered as you, the old man wouldn't have killed so many of them. There was no expression on Gu Fei's face, but it could be seen that he held no hostility towards Lin Fei. I'm different from them. I'm just here to see what this other world is like. It would be great if I could come across some opportunities that belong to me. Otherwise, with my strength, killing some demon gods won't be a problem at all. What do you think? Gu Fei snorted coldly and didn't say anything else. The Central Prefecture Lord heaved a sigh of relief. He was worried that the 2 of them would fight on the way. It would be best if they didn't fight now. The Central Prefecture Lord also needed experts. This year, the 4-star demon gods were a little weak. Therefore, only 5-star demon gods were needed. There were only a handful of 5-star demon gods in the whole world. Finding one was one thing, so there was no need for such a high requirement. After half a month, they finally arrived at a place at the end of the world. A world of ice and snow appeared in front of them. Even though they hadn't reached it yet, they could already feel the terrifying chill. Wave after wave of ice and snow swept over them. It was a vast expanse of whiteness in front of them. In front of us is the number 1 secret area, the ice secret area. The tomb of the 10-star demon god is here. It took us 100 years to find it. Lin Fei could also feel the terrifying aura in the ice and snow. Even though he was very powerful now, his heart still trembled a little. This 10-star fiend celestial was truly terrifying. It was truly a top-notch existence in this great world. Lin Fei had read a lot of information. 9 stars demon gods were already top-level existences. Above 9 stars was the 10-star demon god. However, there were very few people who could reach this level. One might not even appear in 10,000 years. Central Prefecture Lord, have you already found a way to enter? You should know that the power in the periphery of the ice secret area can reach the level of a 4-star demon god. Not everyone can enter. Gu Fei, the old man, said. He was very afraid of the white fog in front of him. Even though he had the strength of a 5-star demon god, he was still afraid of the white fog. That was because the penetration of the white cold mist was too strong. Without a powerful treasure, even a 4-star demon god would be frozen into an ice sculpture in an instant. That was why this place was so terrifying. Therefore, the ice secret area was ranked first among all the secret areas. The Central Prefecture Lord looked at Lin Fei and smiled. This time, I'll have to trouble Brother Lin Fei. After all, you're the only one who can break the method here easily. Previously, Lin Fei was quite puzzled as to why the Central Prefecture Lord would look for him. It turned out that the method here was very difficult to pass. Even though Lin Fei had yet to enter, he knew that this place was difficult even for a level 4 demon god. Only a 5-star demon god with a certain amount of treasures would be able to enter. However, it was not that easy. The method left behind by this 10-star demon god was indeed very fierce. The first level was already a great test. If they couldn't pass this level, they wouldn't be able to get to the later levels. It's just a small matter. Let me bring you in. The magical effect of Lin Fei's great frost skill was also displayed. A layer of frost appeared in the surroundings and wrapped the 3 of them up. Then they went inside. Both the Central Prefecture Lord and Gu Fei were shocked. They knew that the power of this frost was very terrifying. There was a loud buzzing sound. As soon as the cold mist came over, it clashed with the frost. There was a crisp crackling sound. Fortunately, the most dangerous infiltration did not occur. Just like that, Lin Fei led the 2 of them inside. The distance of this cold fog was not small. It was about a few 100 kilometers. It was not a long or short distance. However, it would be very difficult to enter without treasures. A few 100 kilometers passed in the blink of an eye. After passing through this cold fog, a large palace appeared in front of them. These palaces were built along the mountain like a long dragon. It was very spectacular. Central Prefecture Lord, you came quite quickly. I thought you couldn't enter. Then, we will have one less opponent. As soon as they entered, then a burst of laughter could be heard, and the sky seemed to be on the verge of being torn apart. If the people from the Demon Gods Alliance can come, why can't I come? You can't stop us with such a simple method. The Central Prefecture Lord laughed out loud. Bookhouse website, Chapter 4737. It turned out that there were people who had arrived early and were waiting here. Once the Central Prefecture Master arrived, the people who had been resting opened their eyes one by one. For example, the person who had just spoken was a middle-aged man in white. His eyebrows were as sharp as knives. He was the Deputy Alliance leader of the Demon Gods Alliance, heaven-breaking demon god. He was also an expert at the peak of the 5-star demon god level. He also had a secret treasure that allowed him to explode with the power of a 6-star demon god. He was considered one of the top ones here. Most importantly, he represented the Demon Gods Alliance. In this world, the Demon Gods Alliance had a very high presence. As long as one was at the demon god level, they would basically join the Demon Gods Alliance. It was equivalent to having a backer. When they went out to do all sorts of things, bringing up the Demon Gods Alliance was basically a matter of course. There were no obstacles. Everyone had to give face to the Demon Gods Alliance. Lin Fei also heard the word alliance and naturally knew which alliance it was referring to. That was the Demon Gods Alliance. He seemed to have some connection with the Demon Gods Alliance. Of course, this connection was nothing. As long as the Demon Gods Alliance did not cause trouble, Lin Fei would not say anything. The Central Prefecture Master, Lin Fei, Gu Fei, and the other two all descended and landed on an open space. As soon as they landed, people began to size them up. Of course, the one who was sizing them up the most was the young man, Lin Fei. After all, they all knew Gu Fei. He was a veteran 5-star demon god, but he did not have much life left. He was like a madman. They could not afford to offend such a person. Therefore, their focus was on this young man. This young man was unfamiliar. They could not see his realm, which was very strange. Deputy Alliance leader, that person is Lin Fei. He is an invader. He was the one who attacked demon god Xiao Lai. Mike was also taken care of by him. There were also quite a few demon gods who came from the demon god side. Among them was demon god East Cloud, whom Lin Fei had met previously. Demon god East Cloud was afraid of Lin Fei the moment he saw him. But thinking that the Deputy Alliance leader was here, there was nothing to worry about. He immediately began to speak. The heaven-breaking demonic god narrowed his eyes and stared at this young man. He knew it. How could he not know all the experts of the younger generation in the great world? So this was Lin Fei, the intruder. This was a slap to the face of the Demon Gods Alliance. Most importantly, this fellow's strength was pretty good. If he could even freeze a 4-star demon god, then his strength was naturally at the level of a 5-star demon god. Master of the Central Province, when did you bring the intruder here? Don't you know that it's not good to have another outsider here? The heaven-breaking demon god looked over coldly. He stared at Lin Fei. He directly exposed Lin Fei's identity. There were also some other demon gods present who frowned slightly as well. This trip was to search for treasures in the tomb of a 10-star demon god. Now that there was an intruder, it was only natural that they were surprised. Of course, he was a little unhappy. Who knew if the invaders had other accomplices? If they worked together, who knew if there would be any accidents? Master of the Central Province, you have gone too far. Another 5-star demon god looked over. The intruder should die. The middle prefecture master furrowed his brows. This situation was a little different from what he had expected. Everyone must have misunderstood. Although he is an intruder, he did not do anything to our great world. As for the heaven-breaking Alliance Master's words, I think you have misunderstood. If Demon God Mike had not interfered, how could things have turned out like this? I think you should be the clearest about this matter. The Central Province Master looked over at the heaven-breaking Alliance Master. He had never imagined that the heaven-breaking Alliance Master would cause trouble for him at this time. He was very unhappy. The heaven-breaking Alliance Master could not wait for the Central Province Master to suffer. I am just stating the facts. An intruder is indeed very troublesome for us to enter. Moreover, it is not like you don't know what the intruders think. In their eyes, we are just a foreign tribe. What right do we have to enter the tomb of a 10-star demon god? The heaven-breaking Deputy Alliance Master snorted coldly. This person killed our demon god Mike and severely injured a few demon gods. Why don't we deal with him together? Not only did the heaven-breaking Deputy Alliance Master prevent Lin Fei from entering, but he also wanted Lin Fei's life. He hoped that all the demon god powerhouses would join forces and kill Lin Fei here and now. Upon hearing this, the expressions of the few fiend celestials changed significantly. Lin Fei did not expect the demon gods' alliance to target him so strongly. They did not allow him to enter the tomb of a 10-star demon god. If it were any other time, it would not have mattered. But now that he was here, how could Lin Fei leave so easily? He had to go in and take a look first. Your demon god's alliance is really shameless. Don't you just want to deal with me? Come on then. Let's see who is more powerful. Lin Fei snorted coldly and stamped his foot on the ground. A cold mist instantly appeared around his body. He headed towards the heaven-breaking Alliance Master. This cold mist came so quickly that the expressions of all the demon god powerhouses changed. Demon god East Cloud had seen this technique before, so he did not dare to resist at all. Subconsciously, he slid backwards. The expressions of the demon gods, who were originally eager to fight, also changed. In front of this cold mist, they did not seem to have any ability to resist. The heaven-breaking Deputy Alliance Master's expression also turned cold. He felt an incomparable chill. Who would have thought that this guy would really dare to attack? Was he not afraid of being hunted down by the Demon Gods Alliance? Even if the Central Prefecture Master was here, it would be useless. Hua 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 hua. The flames instantly turned into a wall of fire, blocking in front of him. The heaven-breaking Deputy Alliance Master attacked. The moment the wall of fire formed, it was extinguished silently. The cold mist passed through. It was completely useless. Not only did the heaven-breaking Deputy Alliance Master's expression change, but the expressions of the other demon god powerhouses also changed. This cold mist was too powerful. Its power was probably at the level of a 5-star demon god. Aren't you very strong? Then let's have a good fight. If you win, I'll spare your life. If I win, I'll naturally spare your life. Don't think that you can bully me just because I'm an invader. That's just because I'm not angry. Everywhere the cold mist passed, even the void began to freeze. To anyone, this was a terrifying killer move. All sorts of walls of fire and various techniques appeared. In the end, they were forced to open a huge crown, which directly blocked the cold mist's invasion. The Central Prefecture Master laughed when he saw this. Heaven-breaking Deputy, this is all you've got. You actually brought this treasure here. Bookhouse website